Yeah. Shalom. Yeah, we're good. We're good. You can have the audio, yes.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, when they give all praises and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles,
Double
elders, a
honors.
great millstone. Blessings to the hopeful, sincere elect. Get
Shalom.
straight into it, man. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, a lot of crises on the loose. We call it poly crises, meaning many events, man. That's going to lead to the ultimate event, the ushering of the great reset. These elites, these wicked elite, the cabal, the 1%, if you will, button, man, and bring forth the fourth industrial revolution. You had your guy King Charles, the fake King of England, declare that everyone needs a DID, a digital ID, man. A declaration that every person's in the UK, a UK citizen, if they want to use the public domains, whether it's for food, travel, or even traveling, food, travel, work, whatever it is, that's a public, it's part of the society, so to speak. They're gonna have to have a digital ID.
Yeah.
They have to register themselves. Modern day censor. One second. One modern day censor of the modern day Romans, governed by America, Babylon the Great, man. Because this is a modern day census because they're numbering the people, and they want to brand their cattle with that mark, that physical digital mark known as the RFID C-hit, which according to the Bible, which we've been saying for many years from the apostles and elders, a great millstone is the MOT to the B. Now we're coming to the crunch. We're coming to the hour where the hour of temptation is going to be nigh at hand, man. It's slowly and closely approaching because the system's already ready to be basically rebooted, ready to be kicked off. Basically, the system's already been set, and a lot of countries, I think over 100 and something countries, 27 countries or something, already inclined or in line with accepting this one world government system or one world new world order. If you want to get real quick, Revelations 11, let me see, Revelation, no, not 11, 13 and 11, check, see what that says.
So Revelations 13 and 11, and I beheld another beast.
Yeah, they're all at one with the beast. Can you see that?
One sec.
All at one agreement with the
Let me
beast.
look that up real quick. One sec.
Because this is what it is, the New World Order, all these countries, whether it be China, Russia, Iran, Israel, and America, UK, they're all part of this one world government because they're all part of the beast system apart from Russia. IUIC trying to say that the Russia's part of the 10 horns, the 7 heads and 10 horns. No, they're not. They're not part of that beast system. But they're in league with the devil because Putin's just another puppet of, an operative of the Rothschild family, man. They set him up just like they set up Stalin and all these other Russian leaders before his time. During the Bolshevik Revolution, when they got rid of the monarchy, Tsar Nicholas II, which he was the last reigning monarch on the throne of Russia, the last Tsar, and he was a Jake. Him and his family got expedited, and they put in that Stalin guy, man. That was a puppet that the Rothschilds put in there during the Bolshevik Revolution. And ever since then, the Rothschilds have been controlling all these different world leaders, whether it be in China, Korea, whatever it is. They all got their different fractions, and they're all different, all being governed and monitored by the wicked elite. They take orders. That's why your guy Trump went over there to China to, have a back and forth with China and brought all the different tech tycoons and all the big agents over there because they're all part of the New World Order, man. And America's looking weak right now. Go ahead.
This is Revelations, the 17th chapter,
Yeah, 17's lucky, go ahead.
verse 13.
Yep.
These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. And it's, sorry, let me start from a bit higher. It says Revelation 17, and I'll start from 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as of yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
Yeah,
These,
the 10 horns represents NATO and the EU. And that hour is when the whole EU Economic European Committee got changed from that to the EU, and they set up that system with they got the European Union right now, which you've got certain countries that are part of it and trying to get out of it, like you had the Brexit when Britain departed from the EU, but they're still part of NATO, so they're still part of that beast system, militarily wise. That's why if anything happens to America or Pisra, if they go to war, England's got to step in and defend America or Pisra basically. They're supposed to defend them, but they're trying to be reluctant on defending them because they don't want to be brought into this third world war. But they're going to be brought into it anyway, either way, because they're part of the beast system.
yep. And it says, these have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
Yeah, they have one mind, meaning they're all in accordance with each other, man. They're all in agreement. One mind, the one world order. This is what we're coming to right now. The system that's been set up, the image of the beast, is this new digital financial system where they're going to turn everyone into digital slaves. They're going to give you a digital orb, which is the mark of the beast. Whether you want to like it or lump it, the mark of the beast is the RFID hit, man. It is what it says on the paper, man. You know? And the proof's in the pudding. Look at the way everything's going in economically wise, financially wise. Look at everything, technology wise. Look at where everything's advanced to. The digital system. That's the image of the beast right there. The digital financial system, man, run by CBDCs and AI computers. You know, and everyone being so reliant on this Egyptian system, man. That's why the Lord said, "Woe unto you that put your trust in Egypt."
Yeah. Go a quick one.
Go ahead.
This is the book or Exodus the 23rd chapter, verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. And I bring that out because, like you were saying, in regards to the times being evident evil, one of those companies that's going to be at the center of all of this digital surveillance is a company called Palantir, who, again, which is a small hat setup company. And even I was watching a documentary on it earlier today. They got their name from the Lord of the Rings. But then, like, funny enough, basically that Palantir was a Palantir orb in Lord of the Rings. It was a fictional thing where, like, the evil character in that movie used that to be able to see everywhere within the kingdom and be able to basically be omniscient, basically. Omnipotent. Yeah. Omnipotent, all powerful, omniscient, all knowing. Yeah,
all
like
seeing, all knowing. Yeah.
They were able to basically be all knowing, and that's essentially like an ancient form of what the modern algorithm is, being that they're able to control what you see, be able to see everything that you see, be able to listen into everything that you're doing. And Palantir is the Israeli linked company that can use your phone microphone and turn it into your phone speaker and turn it into a microphone. They can listen to you through your TV, all these smart gadgets, and eventually it's just gonna go into you, man.
Because that's what they use. They're collecting all that data for. It's data research, man. They're collecting all that data to basically research on every particular person's, so they can prescribe, particularly, certain adverts and certain algorithms can cater to you. That's why even when you're not on your phone and you're talking, and you say something in a particular, say you want to reference a trainer or something like that, and all of a sudden you unlock your phone and an advert might pop up saying that same trainer that you were looking for.
Yeah.
Because they got hearing detections through the AI chip in your phone, and it detects everything you're saying, and it's like modern day Siri is always on basically. The Siri is always on in your phone. So just like you got the Siri where you got the app or the appliance where you can just talk to it and ask it questions, AI is doing the same thing on your phone through Google, and they're picking up on your voice registration, and they're listening to you basically all the time. Even when your phone's off, not on logged on, your phone's listening to you all the time, man. It's basically like a receptor for the wicked elite to catch you, constantly be detecting you and watching you. Like they had an NSA, National Security Agency, whatever it was called. Back in the day, they called it the NSA. Now, I don't know what they call it nowadays, but, it's all linked up with Homeland Security and all of that, DHS, all that security measures and all that, and basically prying on people's privacies, basically. Because you don't have no more privileges in the society, man. You see, you don't have no more rights, should I say. You have privileges, and it's all been stricken away. And the last one that they want to take away is your power to basically have, to live, to be free, to roam free in the land. That's why they want to put a chip in you, so they're constantly watching you and detecting you, man. No matter where you go, you're going to be a walking antenna on their satellite feed, and they can pick up on you and, you know, find out what you're doing, read your thoughts and all of these things all at the same time. Even plant images or thoughts in your mind at the same time too, turn you into like a Manchurian candidate or some shit like that. You know, that MK Ultra type stuff, man. They're into that. That's what these governments are all into, man. So government means the mind control. That's what the word government means. Governing your mind, controlling your mind, man. These people are not hip to that because they're just sheep. They're a bunch of sheep. They don't know what's going on.
Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away.
Yeah, because this devil was a conniving, slithering serpent, man. And he's been like that since the garden, man. In the garden, he was actual man. It wasn't an actual serpent, but the mindset and the cunning devised fables of this devil is that he's very slithery and very a serpentine, creepy, cruel, vindictive demon, man. It talks about the evil churl in the Isaiah the 32nd chapter. He's that evil churl, man. He's a scoundrel. He's a lowlife, man. But really, because the Lord's given him the power over the whole earth, he's using these tactics of manipulation and deceivement to bewitch people on the earth right now, man, to believe in that he's the, you know, savior of the earth. Even trying to paint himself as the Heavenly Father and his Son and the angels, man. That's how beguiling and manipulative this devil is, man. The seed of evildoers, man. That man of sin being revealed, you know? And he's the son of perdition. So now, their ultimate goal is what? Ultimate power over the goyim, over their people of the earth. They look at people as cattle. So what do you do with your cattle? You want to brand them. Giving them a brand name, that means that you own them. And branding is a form of ownership, man, and that's what these devils are bringing right now. That's why King Charles said it blatantly on the throne, out of nowhere. They said that everyone's required to get a digital ID now, man. Last year they mentioned it, and then Starmer had to go backtrack on it because people started, you know, protesting against it, you know. But now King Charles is openly saying it, and he's not taking no chat. But he's basically, everyone has to either bow down or get laid down. You ain't gonna have no choice in the matter. And that's when they're gonna come into the hour of temptation, where things are gonna be made mandatory, man. It's gonna be mandated. You register wherever council you're with, or whatever location you're at, or area, region. You're gonna have to register with your different clinics or whatever, and get that C-hit. That's gonna be your new national insurance number, social credit number. You know, and that's gonna be linked up to the government and your whole identity, man. It's gonna have your health record on there, the criminal records on there, your P45s, everything about you, your birth certificate. That's going to be all entailed inside of your chip. That's going to be your modern day passport, you know. So if you don't have that, you're going to be a divergent. You're going to be seen as an enemy combatant. You're going to be seen as basically outside of the grid, off the grid. And then it goes into second Ezra, where it says the man should not be able to go into a city, because when they set up these smart cities, it's going to be regional, like districts and all that. So if you try and move from one district to another, you ain't getting, without the chip, or with the chip, you're going to have access to certain things because it's going to be outside of your perimeter. You know, so this is all plot and plan from, you know, from way back, man. These devils been salivating for this new world order. Now they're finally coming to the end of it, where they're going to crown their enterprise with success. But it says on the $1 bill, newest collectors on the $1 bill, meaning crowning our crowning our enterprise with success. And then it says Nouveau Order Superior, meaning a new secular order, a new world order, a new era. So read that, and then I want to read this.
Cool, I've got the chip scripture. Revelations 13.
Hold that. Let me read this then. This is a situation that we're going into now. As I said, there's poly-crisis. Right now, you over there in central London, you got 3 different events. You got a Reform UK political event going on, protest going on. Then you got this Tommy Robinson protest event that's going on. And that's going to turn into some riot type event. The Reform thing, if they clash with the other ones, if they clash with the Reform and the EDL groups and all that, that's going to break out into a war zone. People already been arrested, like Robert said off camera. People already, there's high alert of police. Police have been put on high alert. There's a lot
There's
of police
4,000
on
police.
4,000 Roman centurions right now governing central London, ready to lick shots and go to war with the UK citizens, man, if it gets too political. And it's gonna get political, man, because people are getting fed up with the system, man. They want answers, and they're not getting what the answers they want, and then they're having to pay with these upsurging prices of things, oil, fertilizers, and the farmers are complaining, and things are just going from bad to worse in regards to cost of living, and people are not getting the answers they're supposed to be getting from these politicians because they're just playing the game with them, man. Like tic-tac-toe. And then they got that protest, those two protests on. Then you got a situation where you got retailers selling like Swatch and Audemars watches in the same area, central London. So people were lining up trying to, like modern day Jordans, like Black Friday type shit. People lining up from early in the morning to go and get some fucking watch because it's on sale today in central London. So all those events are happening at the same time. That's a polycrisis. Then you got a football event that's going on in Wembley as well. And that's another major event. So even Esau can use those events. That's why apostles have been saying, stay away from these live events and being in a mixed crowd of people. Stay away from being in a crowd of people following out a motive to do evil, man. Because in these last days, you could be in those different realms, thinking that everything's just a normal day, and then all of a sudden, all hell's breaking loose, and you're going to be caught in the midst of it. You can't get out. They're going to grid the place off, quarantine the place off. They could just drop another Hunter V over there in central London somewhere and say, yeah, these people got the Hunter V. Shut down the whole place, quarantine zone and all that. People are dropping dead. Or there could be a shootout or a false flag event, black swan. It is a perfect crisis. So I've got the term here for polycrises. This is a situation where multiple distinct crises such as economic, environmental and geopolitical occur simultaneously, meaning all at the same time. This is an interact in ways that amplify each other. So it's just going to go from, it's a shitstorm of events basically. And just like the situation with Israel and Iran, that's a major event. Then you got this guy, Trump, kind of trying to do deals with China and all of that. And China's just basically telling America to kick rocks. That basically we got the leverage. That's what my guy Xi Jinping said. He said that China's got the leverage and Trump couldn't say shit. He had to just sit there like a little baby and accept it, man. Because they want help, basically. They're begging China for help now. When usually it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Now China's more advanced than America, so they're going to beg them for help. And, to push forth that new world order, because they're already pushing that social credit score system over there in China on a major level. And that's going to be, the stomping ground for the rest of the world. And then, one second, and then you got that polycrisis going on. You got other attacks, this so-called cyber attacks that might happen. You got economic collapse that's happening right now as well. The financial grid is about to crumble because of the American dollar. So these are all polycrises that's going to lead to what? A reset. They need to reset, reboot the whole system. What happens when you reboot a whole system? You have to get rid of the old system, basically. You have to reboot the whole. When you got an old computer, and it starts crashing because of viruses and all that, get caught up, and it slows your computer down. You got to reboot it. Control Central and delete and all that, alt and all that, and you got to reboot the whole computer, clean it up. You got to clean the membrane and clean it out, basically, clean the program, basically. So then that's what the whole rebooting of the system is. It's going to be a financial reboot. That's the image of the beast. But if you want to partake in that, you got to have the mark of the beast. So read what you wanted to read.
This is the book of Amos, the 5th chapter, verse 18. Woe unto you, meaning destruction, that desire the day of the Lord. So what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. It is an evil time like which has never been seen upon the face of the earth. As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him.
So it's a crisis of situations that are going to keep amplifying, one getting more worse than the other. Like you got this pestilence that's been released right now. That's another part of the polycrises. The health scare, health lockdowns. They're saying that they got the health scare lockdowns. Then they got the oil surge. What's it called? Let me see. One second. I had it on my phone. The one guy said on the tweet, here, He said you got the energy lockdowns regarding the oil shortages, fertilizer shortages, and then he said you got the Hanta V panic, public health scare lockdown at the same time, and then you got the Iran situation. So these are all part of the poly crisis, a domino of events that's all going to lead to this great reset, man. Then you got the financial thing going on, that's what I said, where they want to bring forth the CBDC, a digital system. So this is the perfect recipe for disaster, man. You know, so that's why you gotta be mindful in these last days, man. You can't be ignorant. Ignorance is not bliss. You can't be living in ignorance, man, and acting like you're just nonchalant and you're just living your life and all that. Things are going on, man. Things are happening on the worldwide scale. That's gonna affect you. That's gonna affect you and your families, man. This ain't no joke. People think the Bible's just a fairy tale. The Bible's gonna come knocking on your doorstep pretty much very soon, man. Like the angel of death, man. The grim reaper, man. You know, these things are happening. Why? Because it's all fulfillment of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's word, man. Prophecy.
If I can just say this point as well, because you're making me think, you know, when you said can't be ignorant, because a lot of these people, they think things, you know, quieten down and die down just because they're not talking about certain things on the news.
Yeah.
Like the Strait of Hormuz, you know, they don't really want to, you know, push that in the forefront right now. They're talking about this new pestilence that's going around.
Yeah.
But people don't understand, you know, that these things are still going on in the background, even though they're not might be pushing it in front of the news.
They even said, like, not to cut you off, but they even said in Africa right now they got another Ebola crisis going on. Then they said they got some, in America, they got some neurovirus going on as well as the Hanta V. So Esau, because people are not falling for the okie doke no more, Esau has to dump mad pestilences out there. You can't just dump one and then do the whole lockdown. People ain't falling for that no more. So he has to get more and more experimental, more and more decisive, more and more deviant. So now he's just dumping any type of pestilence, and he's going to amplify, and people you are going to start seeing the mortality rate start to, you know, rise. People are going to start dropping dead, especially if they push this vaccine situation again. And with the vaccine, they're probably going to tell you have to take the chip. You know, that's probably what's going to come out of this situation, because that whole C19 was that was a precursor to what we're doing. That, you know, a foreshadowing of things to come now. Now they really want to execute, you know, the whole New World Order to the full extent, man. You know, to pushing these, you know, the whole dystopian state control over, control of people, you know, all of that, man. Break down the society, you know. No more rights and privilege, like all your privileges just been stricken away. No more freedom of speech. Now you can get arrested for making comments online about Israel in the UK. Saying if you make comments on Israel in the UK, you can be liable to get arrested. So the freedom of speech is no more free. It's not free no more.
Yeah. Go
Go ahead.
It says back in Amos 5 at 19, and lean his hand on the wall and a serpent bitten. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? Yeah, man, the Lord is going to have it where there's just consistent pestilences, earthquakes, famines, as is written of in Matthew 24th chapter, and it's all coming to play. Like the UK right now, like has also high on the agenda the CBDCs, which is another thing that a lot of people have forgotten about. The digital pound, the dollar, the digital yuan. All of these countries have the whole infrastructure set up so that when they decide to flip the switch, you people are going to be in instantaneous slavery automatically off the bat. And the chip is there, man. The technology is out there. Like I was saying about Palantir, companies like that, they've already got the infrastructure, and there's millions of people that are already pretty much signed up to have their biometrics traded. One of the things they did in the UK was they were trying to say they were aligned to children's safety. They wanted to stop children watching pornographic images. So then in the UK here, they flipped it to where if your VPN links you to the UK, you gotta get biometrics registered in order to visit certain content online. A lot of people signed up to that, gave up their fingerprints, their facial recognition, and that was all just a ploy to basically pretty much move people along, man. That's why it says never trust an enemy. I've got that as well for me.
You just read that. But it's all about control, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. And I've got this, the rest of this thing here, because the one I looked back on, the one that I searched earlier, it missed all this out for some reason.
Yeah.
But he says, you know, always changing the Google results and all that, man. He's always changing the answers that you receive, man. He's always like shadow banning the content and all that. What did you have there? Go ahead.
This is Proverbs Proverbs 22:3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Because brothers were saying about the whole poly crisis and all these things, and like just because things don't say it on the news and what's going on, there's things going on in the backdrop. That's what's gonna make these people get hit even harder, man, because they ain't gonna see it coming. But the elect, the Lord that has opened the minds of the men of the Lord to see these things, we're hiding ourselves how in the truth, in the knowledge, man, getting this understanding before the evil days come, man. Because we can see it, and the Lord has given us the vision to see these things coming down the pipeline, man. And the Lord is the one that's going to be able to deliver us from when all these times, become chaos, man, anarchy. When all these people, don't know why these things are happening, why there's no food on the stores, why they're being lined up to get the implant, that C-hip. They're going to be, punished, man. They're going to be in the worst
It's all
situation.
snares and nets, man. It's all snares and nets. The only ones that are aware of these things is the elect of the Lord on the right hand side and the wicked elite on the left hand side. Because we're, constantly going to war, spiritually. This is a spiritual war. So we know that's why we have to keep the armor on, man. And our main armor, the breastplate of faith, is the main thing we have to have on, a shield of faith in these last days, man. Because that's really going to determine how far you go and how far you, if you make it in the end. Because if you, through having a little faith as a mustard seed, you're going to be able to move mountains, meaning you're going to just trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to the fullest, no matter what, and he's going to deliver you. If you ain't got no faith in these last days, like coming to see, like a lot of these guys that were once enlightened to this truth, now they're becoming apostates and just totally doing the magpies. They done like a 180, then a 360, then another 180 on this truth, man. They're just totally remixing the scriptures, showing you that money that they're getting, receiving from the devil, is totally twisted in their mindset, man. They've totally just made mammon their god. They trust in money rather than Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. That's why the names of the Lord ain't even in their mouths no more. The Lord took his name out of them two magpies' mouth, Deacon Akar especially. Or I call him Demon Akar, man, because that guy's a straight up demon. And Brother Assad, he's just a follower, man. He's just a sheep led astray by that Demon Akar, man. That guy's talking about how the chariots don't exist now and all this other. Every week coming out with some new fucking breakdown, man. Trying to bewitch the people, man. It just shows you that you're going to have a lot of Decepticons, a lot of false prophets in these last days, and he's going to die a dreadful and grievous death. He's going to die the worst way possible, man. The Lord's got a special death for guys like Demon Akar, man. Trust and know, and everyone in Israel is going to find out about it too. We're gonna drink to your death too. It's gonna go around the whole of Israel like when Comfy dropped dead. Everyone in Israel found out about what happened to Comfy, and it was a laughing matter because of the way he went out. Talking about he was the God-sent comfort, but the Lord took him out with a 1-9er. You couldn't cue himself from the C-19. You're supposed to be the God-sent comfort. You tried to say he was the Lord. So the Lord took your ass out in the worst way. In a painful death. So this guy, Demon Akar and Assad, they're gonna get a worse death than probably Comfy did, man. Because they're just totally taking the piss, man. Butchering the scriptures, adding and taking away. They're just total like reprobate Decepticons of the highest form, man. Seduced by the devil on all levels, man. And they can't even repent right now because what they're teaching is straight up ludicrous, man. Lunacy, blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. But they still believe that the so-called white man could be saved. That's the only thing that's part of the doctrine, their doctrine, that's right, so to speak. But everything else that we taught is wrong. You guys are a bunch of hypocrites. Anyway, back to this. Because the main part I wanted to read was at the last part of this paragraph here. So I'll read it again. It says, a polycrisis is a situation where multiple distinct independent crises, such as economic, geopolitical, health scare crises, occur simultaneously, environment as well, amplifying other and creating a combined impact that is more severe in some of its parts. It signifies a new era of interconnected global risks. So what they want to bring forth now, a new world order. That's part of their new era. That's part of their evil device, their wicked devices, man. The evil device that they're bringing forth right now is that chip. So they need all these polycrises. Polycrisis equals what? Order ab chaos. Order through the chaos. The order that they're going to bring throughout this all this chaos, economic collapse, environmental, financial collapse, health scare collapses, or health scare lockdowns and all that, is what? Take the chip. That's going to be the solution to all your problems, man. And the 2/3, they're going to be lining up in droves to go and receive that chip because there's going to be a lack of resources. It talks about a lack of bread and for great tribulation. So Jake, like as we're saying, they ain't really felt the impacts of the what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz yet, but in the next coming weeks and months, people are really going to feel the impact. Not just the oil prices surging, but for actual food and resources itself. Storehouses are going to become empty. They're saying a lot of the farmland and all that stock and all that is basically, because they ain't got no fertilizer, all that stock is basically lost. That's part that's going to add so much famine to this economy. It's not even funny. And then they're losing on stocks and prices and all these different things. So it's amplifying in pure chaos. It's amplifying in pure chaos, and then people are going to have to still pay for things at a higher rate for a smaller supply, or lesser than, basically. And these sorts going to be rationing things out. It's going to become so bad out here, man. Like, you can't even describe it in words. It's going to be really a blood war zone out here in the UK, and mainly over there in America, man. Because the Lord's got his eyes on the sinful kingdom, which is mainly America. Go ahead. If anyone's got it.
I've got something. A quick one. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
That's right. What they're going to institute as a result of crashing this economy is programmable money, and like they're trying to make it seem to the simple that it's not a thing that was planned. This is all planned. That's why even though Donald Trump came out, and then sometimes you get what's known as a Freudian slip, where these people will they can only play the game for so long until they eventually let you know what's really going on. And you got asked by a reporter, yeah, you got all these agendas, but do you not care about the average American's pocket? And he said, I don't care about the average American. I don't. And he said, and he straight up said,
Never did.
and then he went back into action and was like, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, but I don't care about the average American, because he went back into that weapons of mass destruction shit.
That propaganda shit. Because he never did. His job is not to care about American citizens, man. His job is to keep the rich rich and the poor poor. That you people put him in office thinking he was for your betterment. All these MAGA heads and all that wearing the MAGA hats. You guys are idiots, man. He was never for you in the first place, man. He was using you as a ruse to get into office. Using flattering words. Same thing like what's his name? Antiochus Epiphanes, man. Wasn't it him that used the flattering words to get into office and all that? Nero, he was like an entertainer type guy as well, man. He was like a celebrity type political figure back then, 2,000 years ago. He wasn't really like a true Caesar, like a guy Julius Caesar and all that, like the first or Urius Caesar. He wasn't like a war general, that kind of pop, type of Caesar. He was just like a regular politician, I guess. And he worked his way into the Senate and became Caesar for a short amount of time. During the time of Apostle Paul and all that, man. But he got ousted by his own fucking Praetorian Guard and all that, the Roman army. They got him out of there, man, because they hated him, they despised him. Just like today, the American army, they despise Trump, man. They hate him, man. They hate his guts. Because they're trying to push it. He's trying to push them into a war they don't want to be partaking in. They know that the war that they're fighting for right now is not about patriotism or whatever. It's about satisfying the pockets of the wicked elite. The lobbyists and all of that. They're fighting for Israel, basically, man. And the American soldiers know that. It's not no patriotic American war that they're fighting for. They're fighting for fucking Israelis. So they're upset, they're pissed off, man. And that this guy Trump is leading them into a war, a provocational war they don't want to be part of. It's forcing their hand, basically. That's why a lot of American soldiers are rebelling. Yet and still, we're still going to be able to get them to go out there and fight, because it's going to get to that point where they're going to have to fight and defend America, because, they're the front line to basically the military, innit? They're going to have to defend America anyway. So that draft is going to come whether, people like it or not. And Esau's going to be sending out your young ones, your YNs, all those, your little daughters, your little fots, are going to be sent out there to die in the desert somewhere, man. Saudi Arabian desert, man. In the dunes of Arabia, you know.
Yeah, and if I can say, just to back your point,
Yeah, yeah.
there's a guy called Mohammed Marandi. He's one of the Iranian scholars. Like he's an English professor at university, but he's also an advisor to the government. And he was basically going into the fact that in the Iranian peninsula, like Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, all of those kind of countries, they have desalination plants, which are plants that turn seawater into drinkable water because they don't have a lot of rain there. And so if America decides to reinstate their war, they're going to strike Saudi, they're going to strike Bahrain, they're going to strike Yemen and all of those countries and make sure that they hit those plants so they don't have a chance to translate that seawater in their regions to drinkable water, which will cause a humanitarian crisis. And then that will just fuck up everybody, absolutely everybody. Then you're going to have immigrants going everywhere, people starving of real starvation, dehydration, no water. And World War III, we're already in it, but that will just hyper accelerate everything, man.
Yeah, it's going to amplify, man. Because this guy Trump's just not letting go. He can't let go anyway because he's been hired to do a job. There's never going to be no peace in the Middle East, man, because for one, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. And you got a bunch of gutter rats over there in the Lord's land. So that land needs to be cleansed, man. And this guy Trump is the perfect catalyst to bring forth that Third World War. He's the perfect, character, basically. The Lord's going to use him, if he ain't going to get taken out of office anytime soon, to basically bring the war of Armageddon, man. It's already started, like brother's saying. It's already started. It's just going to keep amplifying. It's not going to go back to normal. There's not going to be no negotiation where it's going to be a ceasefire forever, and there's not going to be no more no missiles being shot, no cluster bombs and all that. It's going to keep going on and on until basically after the mandating of the chip, that's when the real bombs are going to get shot off. The ICBMs, man, long range missiles and all that, ballistic missiles. They're going to be shut off, and then it's going to bring a total downfall of the American society, Israel, and all of that, man. America's going to get the full throttle power of those weapons of indignation, man, the weapons of mass destruction. They're going to get the full brunt of it, man. Because they're the ones that's, pushing this whole narrative of Iran with their WMDs and all that. And, they're just trying to, the Iranians are just trying to utilize their resources, man, to keep their system going, man. But America keeps fucking poking the bear, and it's pissing off the Iranians and their counterparts like Russia and China. So they're gonna have to retaliate one way or another, because America won't stop poking them, man. Because of that fucking oil situation, man. But America's already lost the war economically, financially. Everyone can see that America's lost the war, man. It's only America and through the witchcraft media trying to bewitch the people to think that they got a fighting chance. They lost, man. They just haven't got they just refuse to take the L. That's America's problem, that pride, man. That bull-headed American eagle is the most prideful bird out of all these fucking nations, man. So proud and self-exalted that the Lord's just gonna humble their asses with the nukes, man. Yeah, that's the only way. Because these devils will not take an L, man. Even when you can blatantly see they're losing, they still trick that. Even when they can see China's more advanced than them, they're still trying to act like they got the power over them, when China's got the leverage over them. And my man Xi Jinping said it, man. He said it live on the news feed, man. He said we got the leverage. Trump was just sitting there like, couldn't say shit. Oh yeah, China looks good. This is beautiful. That's all he kept saying, man. This place is beautiful. I can live here forever and all that. Idiot, man. Total clown. To see the buffoonery, man. America's just a laughing stock of the whole earth. And now they're saying that, what was it? I saw one post. I think it said Israel are the most hated nation on the face of the earth. Something to that nation, man. Them gutter rats are the most hated nation on the face of the earth right now. There's actually an article in it right now on the web, I saw the headline of it anyway. Whether it's a real article or not, I don't know, but it says they're going to be greatly despised amongst the nations. That's in the scriptures, man. It's talking about you Amalekites, man, you gutter rats. Starting with you wicked elite. The Bavarian Freemason fraction of, the witch coven that they set up in 1776. So that's how.
This is Psalms 55 and verse, I'll start from 21. The words of his mouth.
Let's start from verse 2. Read verse 2 real quick.
This is verse 2. It says, "Attend unto me and hear me. I mourn in my complaint."
Yeah, we're mourning in our complaint, man, because we're still under this oppressor. The king oppressor right now is Trump, aka, the cruel lord, man, over there in Babylon the Great. And then you got more oppressors over here in the UK, like Starmer and them. It's adding to the oppression, man, of our people. Go ahead.
Which they want him out as well.
Yeah, we're just gonna put another puppet in there, man. It's gonna keep oppressing. Or whether they put that reform guy, Nigel Farage, in there, with his G5 jet. But anyway, go ahead.
It says, "I mourn in my complaint and make a noise because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked."
The oppression of the wicked. So there's a nation on the earth that's known as the oppressors, man. The Lord said in Micah 2:1, when you read the heading, it says, "Woe to the oppressors," man. That's talking about the seed of the wicked, the council of iniquity that's ruling this earth right now, biblically known as the Edomites, so-called white people today. Go ahead.
"For they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me."
In wrath they hate us. Why? Because they know we're of a different seed, not necessarily because of our color, but because we're of a specific seed. We come from the line of Jacob, man, the Israelites, man, the 12 sons of patriarchs of the nation of Israel. And Esau comes from the so-called white man comes from the line of Esau, Jacob's wicked twin brother, not identical, but fraternal. But yeah, so there's that perpetual hatred, man. So they plow iniquity on us every time they have an opportunity, man. They're thinking of some form of way to try and destroy these people on the side, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Constantly keep you oppressed. Constantly to be a burden in you, and keep stomping on our necks, basically, keep their foot on our necks until the Lord does the role reverse, and we have our foot on their necks, which is coming soon to a kingdom near you, man. There's gonna be a major trading of places, man, on this earth. We're coming to that time now, but for now, Esau's still got the upper hand, so he's gonna fight tooth and nail to hold on to that last, clutch of power that he has, to not lose it, basically. He's going to lose it anyway, because the Lord's coming. When Yahweh Shai returns in those chariots, demon a car, because the Lord is coming by way of the chariots, which you said are not UFOs, you said that the UFOs are not in the Bible or whatever. You're a demon. How else are we going to be delivered from the nuclear missiles, man? We're supposed to follow you? With your new era fitted and all that, we're going to follow you in your G-Wagon? You're going to deliver the whole house of Israel? We got to listen to this clown. He doesn't even know the ancient Hebrew properly. He's always going to that Yiddish and breaking down the scriptures wrong. Because you don't know how to interpret the scriptures properly, man. Clown. Class clown. That's you. You're just a modern day jest in Israel. That's what you are. You're just a jester, man. No one's taking you serious. Even the people on your own comment boards are cursing you out, saying, "What, you're changing up the doctrine already?" People are saying that on your own comment boards, man. 1 minute you're saying this, and next minute you're saying that. You're double-minded. You're not sure of yourself, man. Because you're not a true prophet of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You're really a Decepticon, man. You're a deceiver. You're feigning the word of the Lord because you're made real. Your real God is your belly. You're trying to make merchandise of this word and the Lord's people, man. And now people come to see that you're basically a straight up liar, man. Changing up the name, all of a sudden you're changing up the name from Yahweh Shai to Yeshaya or some next name, saying that the Heavenly Father's name's not Yahweh and all that, the Son's name's not Yahweh Shai. You're pushing all this Jesus to Christ bullshit. The Lord's going to destroy you in Assad, man. You guys are going to get it on another level. Go ahead anyway.
This is verse 20. It says, "He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
Mm-hmm.
He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter."
Yeah, this is Esau, man. This is his characteristics, showing you that the so-called white man, his traits have never changed, man. You can't make a crooked thing straight. He's been the same way since the garden, man. When he came back as Cain, and then he came back as the Esau, the father of the Edomites. He's had the same traits, man. Same manipulative traits and wicked that's innated in him, man. Because that's how the Lord made him to be, the seed of the wicked. He made the seed of the wicked for the day of destruction, according to Proverbs 16:4. So he has to play his part. That's his natural order. You can't change the devil, man. You got a demon in the car talking about Edomites can be saved. Esau doesn't even want to be saved, man. I mean, they don't want to go into slavery, but they're going into slavery either way. But when you check it out, they're not really looking for salvation, man. They're in their salvation right now. They're in their heaven. We're the ones that need to be saved, man. Delivered, so to speak. Esau just wants his kingdom to continue. But he didn't get the message when the Lord told him that you're going to rule for a certain amount of time, a short season. By the way, the shedding blood and the blessing of the sword. But the Lord never said you're going to have an everlasting kingdom. That promise has been given to the seed of Israel, the real Israelites. We're going to have the everlasting kingdom, man. A kingdom with no age limit, basically. It's never going to end. Go ahead.
Yeah, they say what the average cycle of an empire, kingdom, 250 years.
Yeah.
But in the kingdom of Israel, that's going to end there, man. Because it's going to be forever. It's going to continue.
Eternity, man. And eternity doesn't have no end.
Right?
It's an ongoing cycle.
And it says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Yeah, war's in his heart. That's the spirit of the devil, man. That's why Trump's doing what he's doing. He talks about ceasefire this, ceasefire that, and then the next breath he's saying, we're going to destroy Iran. He's a hypocrite, man, because why? Because war is in his heart. He has sleepless nights when he can't do something divisive or something wicked. That's how these elites are. I told you that in Micah 2:1. They practice it, they sleep upon this, and they think upon these things in their sleep, and then they practice it in the daytime, in the morning, because the power's been given in their hands to do so. So when they want to put out a new pathogen, a new pestilence, trust and believe they're sleeping, they're sitting on their beds, thinking about the next virus they want to drop in the air, man. Even, what was it, Philip that said, if he could come back in reincarnation, he'll come back as a virus. That old devil, man. And King Charles, he's part of that whole cabal too. And we're just, King Charles, all them guys are all part of that Epstein movement, man. It's not just his brother. They try to put his brother out there, oust his brother like he's the only one in the royal family that was doing dirty works and all that dirty laundry. Yeah. They're all part of that same fucking cauldron, man, of wickedness, man. Because they're all bloodthirsty vampires, man. They're all Satan worshippers, the whole lot of them. And they're not the real royal family, man. They're a bunch of Bavarian fucking German rats that usurped authority, got their way up into the throne, basically, man, during the 1800s. That's in the history too. They're not the original Windsors and all that. The Windsors are actual black nobility family that ruled in England, man. They took their names. The Stuarts and all that, where Stuart means black. So these devils took our titles upon themselves, because during that time period it was us that was ruling throughout Europe. You got all the coats of arms, all of those different the flags, the different frescoes and paintings and different statues and all that, showing you that Jakes was ruling, man. Even over there in Spain, they got Moorish heads and statues over there still to this day, showing you that the Moors was ruling. But they don't push that in history, like in the modern day history, too much, because they want to make it look like it was always white people that was ruling, man. Even the Vikings or the Anglo-Saxons, they were all Jakes. Black on black crime, man, during that in ancient medieval times, man. That's just modern day Bloods and Crips, man. That's what ancient way of Bloods and Crips, should I say. Medieval times. Go ahead.
10 and 7. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
Yeah, go ahead, break it.
Because you've got a situation right now where the basis of men, man, is ruling over the princes of Israel, man, because of the fact that ultimately we're still in a state of captivity, being punished for going off. But the Lord ultimately, in this time that we're in, is going to flip the script. Pursuant to Second Ezra, it goes right back to the reference of when Jacob and Esau were born, man, with Jacob holding the hill of Esau. We're about to basically, through the help of our Lord Yahweh Shah, pull this man down out of his rule over the earth. And what the Lord is doing is building him up the same way that he built Pharaoh up, to make it look carnally like this man is invincible. Like all of the weapons that he's got, like it seems carnally impossible. But the Lord is going to be basically come give us that spiritual power, that extraterrestrial power, and through that we're going to be able to conquer Esau, Edom effortlessly, man.
Yeah, the Persians thought they was immortals. You know, you had the Persian army. They had the, you know, the greatest army at the time, and they got taken down by Alexander and the Greeks. They never thought that the Greeks would take them down. You know, they fought the Spartans. They took them out. You know, that Lacedaemonians. They show you that in that 300 movie. But when they fought against Alexander the Greek, they call him Alexander the Great. He managed to, you know, rule over them. He managed to win the fight and rule over them, man. But then the Xerxes and them never thought they would ever be taken out. Final Greek Empire, man, because they had the greatest army at that time. So that's when the Lord actually comes for you. You know, these other nations, these heathens, when they're at like the height of their kingdom, and they think that they're unstoppable and untouched. No one can stop them, not even the Most High. Like it tells you in Obadiah, you know, it says who's going to basically, who's going to dethrone us, basically, yeah. Yeah, you can bring us down to the ground, basically. That's that proud statement that your guy, you can see emanating from Trump's lips right now, man. He thinks no one can touch them. America's unstoppable, even though when they're losing the war, and everyone going around the four winds of the earth can see it, they're still talking shit. Trash talking, the most trash talking you ever see, especially with them tweets and all that. Proud. So that's when the Lord's going to strike, man. He likes to strike with the element of surprise. When you least expect it. That's why the Lord said he's going to come as a thief in the night. So when America's thinking they're going to win this war and you got the wicked elite talking about, yeah, the New World Order, we're going to crown our enterprise, ship everyone, that's when the Lord's going to pull the plug on them, man, when they're about to fill their belly. When they're thinking that they can't be stopped, basically, they're unstoppable. That's when the Lord's just going to appear like, you know, pull the plug on your whole shit. And you're just going to be looking like a damn fool. Same with Pharaoh in ancient Egypt, man. He thought he was, you know, higher than the gods and all that, so to speak. Worshipping this idol, that idol. He thought that the God of the Hebrews was basically, like, he was no contest until the Lord started dumping them plagues on his ass. Then he realized that there's no one that can deliver you from the hand of the Lord, man. Our power is greater than your power, man. Those demons and those entities that you worship, man. You know, those deities that you worship. There's only one true power in the heavens and the earth, and that's Yahweh, through his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. And he showed that power through Moses, man. So then the Lord humbled that guy. He took his firstborn, the Lord took the firstborn of his son and all that. The Lord totally humbled Pharaoh, and then on top of that, he buried him and his army in the Red Sea, man. Because that wasn't enough for him. He still tried to come back again. And the Lord just took it upon himself to just make it an ultimate example by burying him at the bottom of the Red Sea with his army. And they've still got remnants of those bombs and chariots at the end of the bottom of the ocean to this day. Showing you that that's true evidence of that actual event happening, man. These are actual real things that happen, and Noah's flood did actually happen. You know, the Lord flooding Pharaoh and his army in the bottom of the Red Sea actually happened, man. These are things that, you know, Noah's Ark, Mount Ararat, Turkey. You know, certain things that the Lord leaves as evidence for certain people to find that to prove how tangible the Bible is, to prove that the Bible is actually true. And Esau, because he's like a relic hunter, you know, trying to be Indiana Jones all the time, or Tomb Raider, you know, raiding tombs and all of that shit. You know, they have the proof as well, and they have the recordings and all that in them different libraries hidden in the fucking Vatican and all that only they can access, proving some of these records, man, that showing you that, yeah, the 12 tribes of Israel is real. They probably got the Ark of Titus over there, remnants of the Ark of Titus over there in the Vatican or some shit like that, man. You know, because it's pretty much close, you know, Spain, Italy and all that. They probably got that was in Italy, right? Yeah, it was in Italy. Yeah, they probably got remnants of the fucking Arch of Titus over there in the Vatican, man, somewhere, man. You know, they probably got different things that came out of the temple in there.
The scripture says that they shall dig out the bones of the prophets, and then, you know, the ancient world.
The truth shall spring out of the earth. Now they show you in the movie Indiana Jones, the Holy Grail, which the Holy Grail is these scriptures, man. That's the Holy Grail, and only the real Israelites that's dealing with the Lord's elect are the only ones that can decipher that Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is these scriptures, man. It ain't no damn cup. with the Lord's blood in it. The blood and the cup is represented in these scriptures, man. You know, this is what the Lord said He resided in the volume of the book. So this is the example of the blood and the cup and the bread and all that good stuff that the Lord was telling us about, and that we partake in during the Passover as well. This is the words, man. That's the most important thing. Not no actual physical bread in your hand. The Lord said man should not live by bread alone, but by the words. You know, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, the fishes. Because they was complaining about they had a lack of fish. And then Mark 8, when the Lord fed the 4,000, He fed the 5,000, but then He fed 4,000 as well. And they said, because when He was talking about the lack of, said we only have one fish, and that the Lord said, yeah, you know, you don't really understand what that represents. You know, spiritually what that represented. The Lord had to break it down to them, man. You know, the fish and the bread is replicant of these scriptures, man. You know, it's only given to certain men, the elect. Anyway,
on that point, this is Matthew 13 and verse 10. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given.
Yeah, that's the Holy Grail right there. The mysteries and the secrets. Because the Lord said in what Amos 3, that He only revealeth the secrets unto His servants, the prophets, man. So we got the Holy Grail. This is the third temple. You're seeing the third temple, an example of the bricks, you know, being built right before your eyes. It's not actual physical temple. The third temple being rebuilt, you know. That's why Esau can't get it, man. Because the scripture says the wicked shall not understand. They're carnal people. They don't understand. They don't perceive the spiritual things. They're natural. They're carnal beasts, man. They can't perceive anything spiritual. Unless it's from side of spiritual demon Satan on the left-hand side, where they're drinking blood and doing all kinds of madness. But other than that, they can't perceive spiritual things, prophecies, or the or the mysteries of the Bible, because that's only given to the elect, the servants of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
He says, well, because that shows you that they know that. Yeah, I got some,
What
What shows you they know, like these wicked elites, and that they know, and like these insiders, they know that they can't get the scriptures fully. Is that movie Book of Eli? You know,
Yeah, man.
they show you that basically the man couldn't even get the scriptures. He couldn't. It was closed off to him.
Yeah.
You know,
Braille.
yeah, it was written in Braille. That's it. You know, so and he was like, the words in the book, it has to come from the book. He knew the power that was in the book.
Yeah, if I could just get the words, if I could
Yeah.
just speak the words, because he knew with the power of the word, he could control the whole earth. He said that's what they did in the old world. They controlled the whole world with the words of this book. And that's what Esau did with the plantation Christianity. He was able to break us down as a people and use our own words in his Bible to enslave us, basically. That's how powerful this book was. He used our own words against us, man. And he was really talking about enslaving him.
Yeah.
He was saying obey your masters and all that. He was saying all these different terms of things in the scriptures, precepts that showing you we're supposed to enslave them because they're the enemy. But he used that upon us and made it look like we was the enemy. He used our own words against us, man. That's them Jedi mind tricks, man. And we fell for it. You know? Because Jake still fears the so-called white man to this day. They think he's the Lord, he's the Messiah. That's why they're praising some damn Jesus. You go to your parents' house or your family's household or your girl, whatever, they got a big Talmud cross on the wall, you know, or Caesar Borgia hanging there. You know? You try and put a black image up there, they're going to tear that shit down. Or saying the Lord's a so-called black man, they're going to look at you, tell you to get out of the house. You know?
They're gonna look at you crazy. Remember in that movie he said it's not just a book, it's a weapon. You know?
What's it?
Gary Oldman?
Yeah, Good Times, whatever it's called. It's that comedy thing you talk about, isn't it?
No, the same movie, Book of Eli.
Oh, Book of Allah, yeah.
He said that, Gary Oldman.
Well, yeah. The scripture says that the words of the Lord, are like a sharp weapon, man.
Yeah,
Basically,
sword.
it's a sharp sword, man, cutting asunder right through, like, the past bone and marrow, right through to the spirit. Because you can curse a man in the name of the Lord, and you're not even physically touching them, and ultimately the Lord will ultimately jack them up in ways unimaginable. And there's even been loads of different camps that have come up with stories of people that came up against them and then they curse them down in the name of the Lord, and then the Lord beholds all sorts of activities happened afterwards, man.
Yeah, you've had guys throughout the years come up to the camp, try and debate us and all that, and try to debunk the truth. And then they left and never was the same again, man. Once you interact with these scriptures and you try and come up against the word of the Lord, man, you're done for, man. You're finished, you're through. You're going to be having sleepless nights and all of that, and then you basically put yourself on the mark you mark yourself for destruction, man. So the Lord's going to have the angels just constantly watching you, waiting to delete your ass, man. Because you don't know, that's why it says keep your mouth. It tells you that in Ecclesiastes 5, man, when you go to the house of the Lord, keep your mouth, man. Rather than give the sacrifice of fools, man. Don't be opening your mouth to saying anything because you think you know it, but you don't know shit. You know, you're supposed to be humble and keep your mouth. You've got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You're supposed to do more listening than speaking. But people in this world, they have pride and ego. They think they know it all. And when they always want to debate and they don't know shit about the scriptures, man. When they tell you they read the Bible like 10 times back and forth, but you don't understand the Bible. You don't understand the spiritual aspects of the Bible. You don't understand prophecy. The Lord's not supping with you, so you're not going to know. You can read the Bible from front to back. You're still not going to understand it. You won't be able to interpret it the way you're supposed to interpret, like the prophets can. You got 100% truth according to these scriptures, man. And we can proudly say that because, you know, the Lord's given us the oil, man, you know, through our apostles and elders, the true teachers of the nation of Israel. Whether you want to like it or lump it, those are the heads of the nation of Israel right now, starting from elder apostle to heart. And it's coming out more and more evident. Why? Because when the mark of the beast is made mandatory, everyone's going to come flocking and coming to GMS and saying, oh, look, man, look, the chip. Nah, man, go to the sellers and buy. Because we told you niggas for years. Kept telling you, man. Now you got kings coming out of the woodworks declaring to get the digital ID. So what is that? That ain't just not some normal ID. That's the mark of the beast. They're going to present an actual device and tell you, put this in your forehead or in your right hand or your left hand, man. If you want to partake in the society. That's the MOT to the beat. And we've been telling you this for years, man. You listen to IUIC talking about mark of the beast is sin. So that means everyone in the Bible had the mark of the beast, even from Adam. Adam sinned, he was the first man to sin. So you're trying to say Yahweh Shai took the chip?
That's insane.
King Solomon took the chip? King David had the chip? Because everyone sins, man. You know, everyone sins in their former life. So what? And you know, so what are you talking about? How can the mark of the beast be sin, man? Or Christianity? You guys are bugged out. But yet and still you got a lot of zombies that will follow and listen to you guys because they trust that they follow in the hearts of the simple.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride.
Yeah, man, that's why we're not following a multitude to do evils. Where everyone was going left, following the crowd and all that, we're going to go right, man. We're going to step away. We're going to go the total opposite way to you niggas, man. Everyone crowding around, going to all these parties and all these live events and all that. We're going to go the opposite way. We're going to divert, man, and just watch from a distance and see the destruction coming straight, imminent for your asses, man. We're going to warn our people, and the ones that take heed, they're going to follow us, man. The ones that don't want to listen, just like Moses said, if you listen, you believe with me, come on this side, man. If you don't, stay with Baal and your gold images and all that, man. Your gold idols, man, and they be destroyed. Your false prophets and that. And let the earth swallow you whole. That's what's happening right now. The Lord's getting ready to pour out mass judgment, man. The Lord's not playing this year. 2026, the Lord is definitely not playing this year, man. From now to the next end of this year, they could just declare the mark of the beast made mandatory, and a few months after that, we'll be out of here, man. Going to 2027, other writers are, man. We're that close, man. We're that close now, because these guys are actually coming out and saying, look, man, we need you to take this ID, we need you, you know, they're not saying that you're going to install it in your body yet, but they're saying they're declaring that you need a digital ID, which means you're going to have to take a chip. They're saying it subliminally right now, but it's going to come to a point where they're going to say, yeah, get this device, this is your digital ID. Then what you IUIC cats and ICB cats going to be saying then? You're gonna have your hands in your head looking all confused and bemused, man. Not knowing where to turn and who to talk to, man. Looking like some confused lambs, you know?
Fleeing and hiding.
Yeah.
A lot of their members
Hirelings are gonna go. Yeah.
They're gonna be at their necks, man, looking for them.
Yeah.
You
Especially guys
deceived
like
us.
Nate and that.
Yeah,
You've been lying for years, man. You guys are out of your fucking minds. You guys have been lying for years, man. You thought you was fooling someone, man. Only people you're fooling is yourself and your zombie followers. Whoever's got it.
Yeah, I got something quickly. This the chip, man. Revelations 13 and 16, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
So it's gonna come to a point where it's gonna be made mandatory pursuant to Revelation 3 and 10. Go, say what you're saying.
There's no world in which that can be sin. Like it's a physical mark that's inserted in. Like why would sin specifically go into your forehead, or like why would it be in your right hand or your left hand even?
You can't
like,
feel sin.
like
You can't taste sin.
like you sweat sin out your left hand in that, like with your right hand. It's ridiculous. It's a stupid argument, man.
It doesn't make no sense, and you can't purchase with sin. How can you buy and sell with sin? It doesn't make no fucking sense. A buying and selling is a form of trading. A commodity, like trading commodities, like tangible goods. How can you buy and sell with fucking sin, man? Something that you can't even see or form in existence, man. It's something that's invisible. You know, something that takes place with your actual, like your own mortal thoughts and all that. You can't play with that, man. That's not how the banking system works, man. I just want to take out $100 from the bank because I didn't I committed one sin. Like, it doesn't make no sense, man. It's a bartering system. It's the trading of goods. You know, offers, exchange, and things that you exchange for assets and all that, man. That's what it is. And the thing that they're gonna use is digital ID incorporated with the CBD system, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and they're going to use that as actual currencies to monetize, and you'll be able to buy and sell with it. And then these devils will be able to track and trace your movements and how much money you're spending and what you can spend your money on. They can restrict your chip to like a daily use and all that. So you can only use certain amount of your money during the day. Just like if you went to an ATM and they say you can only take out a certain amount a day. That's what they're going to do to your chip. So you can only spend this amount of money a day. You can only buy these certain items. You're only restricted to this parameter to buy items. You can't go to another district and buy items. Your chip's not going to work.
Or a car. You can only go certain miles. You can only go in this amount of miles in this radius.
Yeah, you can't go. Just like that movie In Time. I always think about that movie with Justin Timberlake, In Time, and they have to keep access your, they have to keep adding credits. That was just a form of the chip. It was like a number that was counting up and down on his arm, and it would go up like a fucking, like a slot machine. But it was just like a chip, modern day chip, and you put credits on it. And then when your credits run out, you drop dead. That's how it is. That's how it's going to be. A total dystopian state of pure control, man. You think Justin Timberlake and these guys, Hollywood, and all that, didn't know what that movie meant when they was partaking? They knew what the fuck they was partaking in. They knew that was talking about what that's coming to, what that's pushing forth in the future. We're living in that future right now, in time. You're going to get credits and debits in your fucking arm or in your forehead.
Yeah. It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And Trump is in China right now. Like, of course, these nations got their differences, but China owns the majority of America's debt as well. Like, and in this modern economy, all of these nations' survival is interlinked. If America's economy goes down, so does China's. It's all fucked.
Everything's made in China as well.
Yeah. And China got their social credit system as well, like where they got that down pat. All they need is the chip in China. Like they got the social credits to where if your social credits are down, you can't get a mortgage, you can't get finance, can't travel, can't do shit.
They block your shit, man. The videos come out from when the C19 was coming out. People saying they can't travel and all that. They locked off their social credit score cards. They can't travel, they can't do this, can't buy food. All because they have access to one little fucking device, and they can turn it on and off when they please. Put your face on a bulletin and all that, exposing you and all that, saying like you're some criminal, saying this person's been censored and all that. If you see them, call the police, call the authorities, type shit. That's how they want this whole society to be. So that's why Trump went over there, because they want to integrate that system in America mainly and around the four winds of the earth, which they're ready to do so now. That's called the Great Reset, the fourth industrial revolution, man. Out with the old technology and in with the new. New era, new world order, man. For all these different poly crises. This is the perfect time. You know, these devils will say never let a crisis go to waste. This is the perfect opportunity. All these different crises around the earth to reset, to reset everything, man. To reboot this whole system. The image of the beast. And they're gonna do it. It's just that it's not gonna be flourishing, man. It's not gonna be a system where we're gonna be here for the next 100 years, still having chips on us and all that. Once they establish it and start chipping people, things are going to move much. You thought time was moving fast back. Now, time's going to be moving extremely fast when they mandate this chip. Guaranteed, man, because the Spirit of the Lord is hastening the day. And the Lord said for the elect's sake, the times are going to be cut short. So as soon as they make that chip mandatory, like Apostle Elder Tahar's been saying through the Spirit, because that's how we deal through the Spirit. Time's going to be moving that much quicker, man. And before you know it, missiles are going to be flying everywhere. And the chariots are going to come, beam up the elect, and Demon Hakar and Assad are not going to be beamed up. They're going to be down here on ground zero getting burnt up in a lake of fire, if they even make it that far. If they don't die in the time of Jacob's trouble or some time of sedition. If they make it to the nuclear missiles, guaranteed they're not getting beamed up because they dissed the Lord and said the chariots are not the angels of the Lord. They tried to say UFOs are like we're just making this shit up. When it's all throughout the scriptures, man. When was it? When was in ancient Egypt? What was the pillar flying by day and the cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night? What was that? Was that a fucking lantern? Was that a green lantern in the sky or some shit like that? What was that? What would be a cloud in the day and the pillar of fire was following us throughout the whole night, shooting down like a light, a flashlight for us to travel through the wilderness as in, guiding us through the wilderness and all that. Because we didn't have no lampposts back then. So when it's dark, it's pitch black dark. Can't see shit. You're walking into cliffs, walking into cutting your feet on stones and all that, walking into rocks. They're in the wilderness, something like, you know what I'm saying? It's open land. So how are we going to be guided in the midst of a valley or the wilderness is in if we didn't have no light from the Lord, man? Because once the sun goes down, that's it. It's pitch black dark, man. You can't see shit. There's only so much light you can get from a candle. So the Lord had to help us, man. We were traveling around the wilderness, man. And Jake didn't even realize he was walking around in a circle, man. Till all of the nations, that generation died off and their kids were just left and remained. Just constantly walking around in a circle. So the Lord was there, man, with us, man. Tells you that in the scriptures. So what the hell are you guys talking about, man? You guys are just, man, you guys are, man. But anyway, the Lord set you up to do what you're doing, to be a stumbling block for the undesirables, man. Because not all Israel's going to make it. So you stay there and keep teaching your lies, and you keep leading the zombies where the Lord wants you to, and let both of you be destroyed, man. Because we're only out here for the elect.
Yeah. 100%.
It just shows how much of an embarrassment you guys are, man, to the nation. Because you guys are just walking contradictions, man. And that means you never truly believed. You never believed in the name, you never believed in the doctrine, you never believed in the prophecies, man. Because you're always questioning shit. Not in a good way either, man. You're always questioning basically from when you came into the truth, you was doubting the name of the Lord. You was doubting the prophecies. You never truly believed. It was just a game for you. You're just trying to climb up the ladder. That's a real deviant person, man. That's a demon, man. Someone that would do something like that, man, like on that level, man, just be hiding in like falsehoods, man. If you didn't believe, you didn't want to be part of this, you could have got your walking papers a long time ago, man. Go back to the Christian church where you belong, man. Because that's what you truly believe in. The white Jesus and that. That's who you sold out to. But you wanted to hide, like wolves in sheep's clothing, man. Amongst us, like to say you're in this truth and you're pushing the truth for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and you don't even believe in their names, man. You're a demon. What kind of prophet are you, man?
Scripture says a dog has returned unto his vomit. That's exactly what they've done.
We can't even call you a dog because a dog's more loyal than you are. A dog's actual Kalab is actual loyal servant, man, to his owner. We can't even relate you to being a dog because the dog's more loyal than you are, man. Never disown his owner, man. Even if the owner just tries to disown him. So you guys are you're the modern day Judas ghost, man, but the worst of his kind, man. Even Judas at the end had remorse. And wanted to give back the money and all that, man. But it's too late. But even he had the sense of remorse. You guys ain't even got no remorse in your spirit, man. You're just straight up deviants, man. You keep adding and adding more fucking madness. So the Lord gonna get rid of you guys anyway. We already know. You're not the first ones to come and do this bullshit. There's another go around of false prophets, man. I've seen you come 100 different times, man. You ain't doing nothing new. Go ahead.
The scripture says we can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. So at the end of the day,
even if you try to repent, I don't even think the Lord's gonna accept it, man. You guys are too far gone. Starting from your leader, Al-Azhar, man. That whole camp Sakari was off from the jump.
Like this. 2 Peter 2:1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily, like in private, basically, like you get in your wicked counsels and then you start coming up with crazy doctrines that are contrary to the truth, and then you try and push it out there like it's normality, and then come up against the true man of the Lord, the apostles on down, as if they've been going off the whole time. I remember even when he tried to say, even though the whole New Testament is mostly Paul's writings, he was like, yeah, man, the apostle Paul was off like Sakari. This is a mad thing. So you mean like all the books, all the letters to the churches,
the
like
whole New Testament, basically.
the whole New Testament, pretty much, and even the men that he then taught, like Timothy and all of them, we got to just scrap that whole set of books out because he according to you wasn't right.
The understudies, all of that, because they're more sound in the mind than Apostle Paul and Timothy and that. Come on, man, fuck out of here. You guys are reprobate at best, man. You're novices, man. You're novices at best. You're fresh off the boat, and you thought you could come into this thing and take over, but you showed yourself to be like example of fools, man. And why you can't prop yourself up in this truth. You gotta stay humble, man. Knowledge and wickedness is not wisdom. You guys are a bunch of idiots, man. You guys are so stupid, man. It's not even funny. But anyway, as we said, you've been set up to do what you're doing, man. The Lord said certain men were brought into this truth without condemnation to be destroyed. So you marked yourself when you came into this truth. The Lord wanted you to do that. He wanted you to condemn yourself so he can destroy you.
Yeah. It says, so even as there shall be false teachers among you who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction.
Yeah, talk about the UFOs and certain black Israelites. What do you mean black Israelites? This one would be black Israelites. Showing you these guys are a bunch of sellouts, man. Pushing them like bullshit. Esau, Volcam Malone would say. Black Israelites. This one would be black Israelites. So are you not Israelites also? Are all the Israelites black? What are you trying to say?
Yeah. That's insane.
You're pushing out Edomite rhetoric, man. That Southern Poppy Law Center type shit. Project Megiddo type shit, man. You're an agent, man. This is why this is the year of the apostates. Year of the sellouts and year of the agents of Satan. You guys are agents of Satan, man. You're all 3 in 1. Apostates, sellouts, and agents of Satan. Agents of Baal.
That's that. It says, and many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall evil be spoken of.
And many of you, the followers, the ones that are paying for your super chats, there's a lot of jakes coming, they think this shit is all about they think this truth, not this shit. They think this truth's about entertainment. So you got a lot of guys, especially women, that are, knuckleheads that will follow you just, blindly, thinking that it's all about entertainment. Something to debate. Like Captain Tazariak, all trying to debate with all these clowns of the world, man. sitting down with a bunch of unbelievers, man. Don't even believe in this truth. For what? Just because you want to make yourself look profound in the eyes of the world, you want to be worldly. You know, you want to be friends with the world. The Lord said, "He that is a friend of the world is an enemy of His." Man, make your fucking mind up, man. What are you in this truth for, man? To debating a bunch of unbelievers. You know, two can't walk together unless they agree, man. You see this as a money racket as well. You know, trying to make money off these damn debates and shit like that. Popularity contest, man. That's what you guys are in it for. You, Demon Akar, the Saad, you're all in this truth for popularity contest, man. But have at it, man. Because we ain't in this truth for no popularity contest. We're out here because we fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And he said, through, through the persuading of men, through the terror, knowing the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. We know the judgment of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Don't push this word, man. So into Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. Because he gave us the upper hand. He gave us the foreshadowing of things to come. He gave us the know-how. You know? So if we don't reveal this truth unto the elect, we're going to be held liable for what we know, including the name. You guys are taking it as a meal ticket to make money and merchandise off the word of the name, off the name of the Lord, and the actual name and actual truth of the doctrine itself. So you guys, you guys are just going to be destroyed, man. You're a bunch of false prophets. Hirelings, man. Charlatan leaders and all that, you know. But we're going to see, anyway, when they make this chip mandatory, we're going to see who's who. You know, and it's definitely going to be made evident that apostles and elders, a great millstone and brothers on down, are the true men, true servants of Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai. Then it shall be known who my servants, man. It's going to be more and more evident. You even get the Jakes on the comment board now, acknowledging the apostles and elders, saying, yeah, you guys have been teaching this truth for years. You've been teaching them back. You've never changed the doctrine of the MOT to the B. You've always said what it was, you know. You haven't deviated, you know. But we're known for that. That's what we're going to be known for, man. Great millstone with the main prophets always pushing the MOT to the B and edifying and Jake on the truth.
Yeah, not selling out, man.
No sellouts allowed, man. You know?
That's what we're finding out, man. We're seeing a lot of guys just taking the back, man. And it's just clear.
Yeah.
It's just clear, man.
Yeah. Every week you're changing something up. Next week you're going to say, the virgin birth is a real thing. Some shit like that. Who knows? You might even start teaching in the mark of the beast is a rice grain or something other than the chip. Who knows what's going to come out of your mouth, man? We know it's going to be filthy communication, though. Adding sin, it's waxing worse and worse. Go ahead.
This is Revelations chapter 3 and verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth.
Yeah, and this is the time we're coming into now, man. So expect more and more news bulletins coming out regarding this digital ID, and and then the elites touted it more, saying that we have to register and all that, different online, registries and all that, and then ultimately they're gonna say, yeah, you gotta take this device in your arm, in your right hand, and your forehead, and if you don't, you're gonna be arrested or something. They're gonna threaten your life basically. Just like they did with the C-19, they were threatening people's lives. Saying if you're caught outside and more than a group of 6 or whatever, or you're having parties or whatever, you can be arrested, be fined. It was threatening people, be quarantined and all that. It was threatening people's lives just for having wanting to live their own life, which is an actual natural born right. You can't fucking force imprison a person of something that don't really exist. Something that you just created through the world, witchcraft media, that you just lock down the whole of society, lock down the whole world. Australia, they had some serious lockdowns over there in Australia. There was just arresting people left, right, and centre, man. Walking over a mile out of your area, they just grab you up like to say you was a criminal that escaped prison, man. All you want to do is just travel, man. That's your God-given right. Travel the earth. But Esau has to put restrictions on people, man. Passport this and passport that. This area is, closed off and this place is closed off.
Yeah, even on the beaches, man.
Yeah.
Like watching surveilling people that like try to just go to the beach 15 minutes away from their house or whatever, and they would fight, like basically penalizing them, man.
Yep. Yep.
That's a devil for you, man.
And this lockdown is going to be far worse. They're actually going to be grabbing people out of their houses in the middle of the night. All of that. Quarantine zones. Because the mortality, the death rate is definitely going to climb. Could be, look, like Apostle at the time was saying, like brother's been saying, we're a month away from, June, July. Could be a hot summer. Could be a very hot summer, man. This Hunter V thing, because it explode more, because they're trying to push more and more, numbers about the bodies turning up with a Hunter V now. Then they've got all these other so-called viruses that are out there now, pestilences, norovirus and Ebola. That's the main African type disease that they're always pushing out there. Always surrounding those African regions that, So they're trying to push this narrative that it's unsafe right now. They're going to heighten the alert, the risk alert, national, what's it called? The national what?
The threat level.
Yeah, the threat levels and all that. State of emergency, that's it. They're going to declare a state of emergency, highest threat levels and all that. It's going to get mad out here, man. It's going to get really bloody out here, and really lawless too. Anarchy in the streets, man. That's what these devils want.
Yeah.
Order through the chaos. Yeah.
Right now, with the two big protests happening in central London, the police have been paid 4.5 million. They're using live facial recognition for the first time ever at protests. They've arrested over 31 people and probably higher at this point. But this article was a couple of hours ago when we started camp. Like, right now, if you can't see that we're in a police state, we've been in the police state, sorry, and that digital currency is on its way. You're one of them unwise versions, because like what we're doing right now is we're telling you, go get your oil, go study, get right with the Lord, stop spreading bullshit prophecies. Like all you false prophets, obviously you can't help yourself, but if you were sincere, you turn around and say, you know what, I've been bullshitting for too long, man, this shit is real, man, I need to just get right and just get humble.
Yeah.
But a lot of you, when the Lord comes, you're going to have no cloak.
Yeah, no cloak for your sins, man. They're the same ones that's going to be screaming, Lord, Lord.
Yeah.
The Lord said, remove from me, I never knew you, man. The workers of iniquity, man. Because you guys are just straight up, wicked, man. You're evil, man, for what you're doing. And you don't have no ounce of remorse, man. Like the brother said, after a while you start, feeling bad. If you look yourself in the mirror and actually, continually, check yourself, like the scriptures say, then you'll come to the realization you've been fucking around too much, and you'll actually be remorseful and repent to the Lord if you're sincere, man. But these guys ain't gonna repent, man. These guys ain't gonna repent. They're gonna carry on doing their shit until the Lord takes their asses out, because they got that pride and ego, man. So the Lord's the one that's gonna have to humble them. They ain't gonna listen to us, because they're just looking at us like we're just hating on them, whatever. Which is not hate, man. It's really love. Open rebuke is better than secret love, man. But you guys want to see it as hate. We're covetous or something. We don't want your lifestyle. We don't care about what you got or what you own, your material wealth. We don't give a shit. We want out of this world. We want a new world, man. We dwelleth righteousness. We want the kingdom. You niggas don't want the kingdom. You want to make this your kingdom, man. This place. So you guys are basically fighting against what the Lord is trying to do here. You're trying to fight against the Lord's setup, man. You're enemies of the cross. That's why we're cursing your asses out, man. Because if you wanted progress and you wanted to rule over your oppressors, you would be on the same mindset like us. Getting your minds ready for this kingdom to fall, so Yahweh Shai can come and then we can rule in righteousness, man. In proper order and all that, man. In abundance and all that. Not having to bow down to our enemies for the want of anything, man. You guys are willing to sell out for some cheap Happy Meal deals, and think that that's going to be, lead you into whatever kingdom you think is going to, lead you into, man. But the Lord said that covenant with death that you made is going to be disannulled, man. And you're going to feel the fiery flames, man. when the scourging fire comes in, like it tells you, you're going to be part of that fire, man. You're going to be fuel to the fire. Jay love to play too much, man. But we're in a time where the Lord ain't playing no more, man. And the Lord's going to start making examples. You can see it now, man. You can see it clear as day. Demon the car, Assad, certain guys, Wi-Fi, all these guys that don't want to repent and get right with the Lord. You can see the Lord making examples of you in these last days, man. Because the Lord's going to restore fear. He's going to restore fear in the nation of Israel like never before. Jake's going to learn to fear Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai, man. By force, if the Lord has to, which is basically going to have to be that. 2/3 are going to have to learn by force. Because we know the terror of the Lord. We're not called the king of terrors or Al-Shadya, Almighty God, demon-like power for no reason, man. The Lord's terrible, man. The Lord can be terrible if he wants to, man. He's going to be terrible in the last days. Upon 2/3, that's why it's called the time of Jacob's trouble. The Lord's not playing. Scripture says the Lord is not mocked, man.
So, this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols.
Yeah, man, that's that registration right there. The new census. Numbering of the people, man. Esau's coming down, and they want to brand their cattle, man. So he's gonna offer you. Things are gonna be laid out for you put on the table to make you accept this CHIP technology, man. And it's basically gonna be your back's gonna be against the wall. You're gonna be in a sense of desperation, because there's gonna be a lack of resources, food and all of that, clean waters. I mean, there's even talks about the water. They're saying the water situation over there in America is going to be running out soon as well. Like, there's a lot of things that's going to be like, as we've been saying, a shitstorm of events, polycrises, domino effect that's going to lead to the decline, ultimately of this whole system. And it's going to be based upon America and, that whole monetary system that they got running right now. They're going to be the whole reason why the whole system's going to have to be rebooted. Because everyone trusts in the Great Hawk. Everyone's invested in the Great Hawk, should I say, in their society, man, through monetary gain. So because everyone's reliant on America and their system, when it crashes, the whole world's going to be impacted, just like with the situation with the Strait of Hormuz. It didn't just affect people over there in the Middle East. It affected basically the whole known world. 40% of the oil comes from that one river alone to the main parts of Europe and the West, basically. 40%. Just less than half of the oil of the whole earth, man. Or oil reserves, should I say, goes to those different countries over here in the West, man. We're reliant upon those things. Otherwise, the markets become unstable and, everything's just commodities and all that, just go crazy. So imagine that, when the whole shit crashes because of America, man. People are going to be going hysterical, losing their minds, man. The nigga woman going to be crying, she can't feed her little children, little baby, and the man's going to be using his mind, so men are going to become like women. Men are not even real men no more, man. Men are becoming more simple, more beta male nowadays, becoming more soft and more, more feminine. So men ain't even in that mindset of, rebellion and war right now, man. They're not like the Jakes that was in the time of the civil wars and, well, not even civil war, but like civil movement rights and all that, like in the 70s and shit. Jake's not in that rebellious type spirit right now, man. Jake's like just couched down. So the Lord says he's going to stir them up. Specifically talking about the tribe of Judah, man. He's going to stir them up. But yeah, like, Jake's not ready for what's coming, man. Jake just want to be in Murphdom. They want to know about the next concert, next festival, next football event. They're not concerned about worldwide events, man, unless it's the World Cup. or some shit like that, you know. But nothing political, geopolitical, man. That affects them. It affects their daily lives. Until when shit hits the fan and when it's too late, that's when Jake wanna rise up. But Esau, the other nations, they know what's coming, man. They know about the forecast of what's going on right now, and they know that shit's about to hit the fan. You know, so some of them are prepping and all that, getting ready for some, turbulent times. Times of like riots and all that, breaking out, civil war, civil unrest. You got a whole protest of a bunch of Edomites right now in central London, man. While Jake's out here worrying about football or whatever, you got a whole bunch of Edomites protesting out there, man, getting ready to go to war basically with the government, because they want Great Britain back. They want their so-called Great Britain back the way it used to be. They want to make Britain great again. Turbulent times, man. So this is the time we're supposed to be watching as well as praying. You got to stay on guard, man. Stay in your watch. If you're a real servant of Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, I'm not trying to make merchandise of this word, but certain cats.
Verse 69, it says, "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach, and trodden under foot."
Yes, so there's a lot of people that are going to give consent. A lot of these women out here, they're going to be lining up, giving consent for them and their babies to get chipped up. Men are going to be taking the chip because they're listening to their women, or they're scared in general. They're going to be getting chipped up. Or if you're in the army, or you want to get early release from prison, they're going to tell you take this chip. You can get early release, day release, and all that stuff. You're going to, you want to join the army or get drafted, they're going to chip you up. It's going to be a whole, the whole modern day society, a change of whole environment, man. Like a new way of living, so to speak, being controlled by AI technology.
New normal.
Yeah, new norm. Digital slaves, man. It's hell, man. That's hell on earth. Like the brother said, the dystopian state, man. Police state. Everything gridded off. Everyone under surveillance. No more privacy. Can't even get privacy in your own home, in your own bathroom, man. You saw me plugging in, listening to you in your own bathroom, listening to your conversations through your damn chip, monitoring you. Crazy, man. That's hell. That's pure slavery right there. That is pure slavery. And that's why we need deliverance. That's why we need Yahweh Shai. There's no man in their right mind wants to live in that type of state, man. That's like you're just basically like an outdoor prisoner, in an open prison.
It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord."
Yes, so Esau's gonna keep revealing, sharpening them horns, man. Like Trump, he's definitely gonna start making moves on the tribes, man. As more and more things start happening, and he starts losing popularity, losing more voters, and losing this war in the Middle East, he's gonna take it out on the tribes, man. He's gonna take out his frustration on the tribes. He's gonna be like a madman sparing none. Declare an insurrection act, a state of emergency that's come upon this martial law to come down upon you tribes like a ton of bricks, man. Arresting you, your parents, your children, and just doing away with you, having you locked up in cages, and then chipping a whole bunch of you, and the ones that don't want to take orders or want to bow down and be submissive, you're going to hit you up with a firing squad, execution style, or you're going to put your heads in guillotines and chop your heads off, old and young. Esau really going to let loose on Jake, man. And the Lord's with it. He said there's going to be a great slaughter in Israel. It should be upon all the princes of Israel, man. terrors by reason of the sword. The modern day sword is the gun. So Esau he gonna execute, he gonna execute his blessing of the sword to perfection, man, in these last days upon you tribes, man. And the Lord's gonna let them do it too. Because 2/3, they're not right, man. They need judgment, you know. So there's very terrible times they're coming into, man. That's why you're supposed to fear Yahweh Shem Shai. You're supposed to fear the Lord, man. Stop playing with the name. Stop playing with the doctrine, man. Fear the Lord, man. Because there's gonna come a time when, you know, talking's gonna stop. You ain't gonna be able to just talk shit on your webcam and, you know, make money and, you know, enjoy your life, so to speak. Time's gonna come when there's gonna be blackouts, no light, no electricity, no gas. You're gonna be starving for a few days on end, you know. You ain't gonna even know what's going on outside because there's no communication. The phone lines are gonna go down. It might be an EMP, which will knock out all the fucking electricity and electrical grid in your area, you know. So you won't even be able to get no communication. You can't call no one. You can't call your family members to find out how they're doing. You can't text no one. Internet's gonna be down. Blackouts, you know, like proper blackouts for days on end. Cyber attack. What are you gonna do in that time? You're gonna be talking shit to yourself in your house, in your PJs, with your new fitted on. You're gonna try and turn your webcam on in that day. There's no electricity in your house. What are you gonna do in that time, man? You're gonna be sitting in your G-Wagon freezing to death. No heating. You know? It's gonna get bad out here, man. Jake thinks it's a game. Once the Lord really amps it up out here, man, it's gonna be like the worst horror movie known to man in lifetime. Then you have to worry. You can't even just worry about that. You gotta worry about your neighbors, people trying to break into your apartment, breaking into your house during the day or in the middle of the night, trying to kidnap you and if you got children, they can, you know, have their way with them. If you got a wife, she's gonna get raped up, she's gonna get ravished. Your daughters are gonna get ravished. It's gonna become so lawless out here. The Lord's gonna make certain people's worst nightmares come to pass in these last days, man. Then you're gonna have to worry about animal attacks too. You know? And then in the midst of all that, the Lord said, at famine and destruction, the men of the Lord, we're gonna laugh, man. Because we're gonna be taken care of. We're gonna have such a different, our minds are gonna be wired such a different way like they are now, that all that stuff is not gonna affect us, man. Because we're gonna be sober, we're gonna have, you know, as it says, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of our times. The Lord's going to put a different spirit on the men of the Lord in that time where none of that's going to faze us, man. You know? That's just like, it's going to be like, you know, obviously going to be turbulent times, hell on earth. But it's going to be like brushing dirt off the shoulder for us. But the Lord said, my servant shall eat. We're going to be getting taken care of while everyone else is suffering, man. Pure judgment, pure ass kicking from the Lord, man, on high. This is why we told Jake to repent. Still, the doors of mercy are still open. As long as you still see the prophets out here on the highways and hedges, whether it be the weekend or weekday, pushing these words out, it's a Syrian truth. The doors of mercy are still slightly open, man. But once the famine of the word comes, if the famine of the word will come, that's when the doors of mercy are closed. Like Noah's Ark, and then all bets is off after that. It's all hell after that, man. It's kill or be killed. You have to fend for yourself.
Dog eat dog.
Yeah, dog eat dog, some reservoir dog type situation, man. No honor amongst thieves, like, and all that. It's gonna be, a lot of people ain't gonna know how to deal. You got Jake talking about they got switches and they're gonna be holding a little 9mm. That's not gonna deliver you from what Esau's got. It's not gonna deliver you from the hand of the Lord.
A bit more, kind of goes into that as well. So it says, verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses.
Yeah, you're gonna have martial law troops breaking into your house in the middle of the night, like the finger men, you know. Not license registration. They're gonna ask for your registration. Where's your ID? If you ain't got no ID, they're gonna chain your ass up, slap you in the back of a van, and take you ass to an internment camp, man. For re-education purposes. And you already know what's gonna be in there. torture mechanisms and all of that. People getting put to death, you know. And the Lord's not going to hear your cries and lamentations in that day. The 2/3, the Lord's not going to hear their cries, man. A lot of people are going to be getting separated from their families. The kids are going to get snatched up, getting chipped up, taken away from their parents. It's crazy times, man. Esau's really going to be like, you know, like madman spurring on. He's not going to have no ounce of remorse for Jake. He's just going to be like a demon on. He's going to be on demon mode. Not like Jake like to say man's on demon mode. Like Esau's going to be on demon mode in that time. Yeah, they're just going to be bloodthirsty to take out their anger on the tribes, man. As soon as they see someone with color, they're going to be on you, like, you know. Like, this is what they've been training for. To take down Jakes. Whether you're brown, black, whatever.
It says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire.
Yes, so like Apostle Elder Tahar's been saying for the longest. When they make this chip mandatory, then we're going to see who's who, man. The Lord going to separate the men from the mice, man. From the men from the boys. And we're going to see who's really been about this truth and who's been, you know, feigning the word all this time, man. Who's been, you know, talking that good stuff, but really just been you know, like selling wolf tickets, basically, man. Not really about that life. It sound good on the mic, you know, but it's going to be made evident in that time because a lot of guys are going to fold, man. A lot of men, certain men are going to make haste in that time. They're going to act like they're not going to take the seat, but then they're going to give in one way or another. But that just means you're not part of the Lord's elect. That's what that means. If you're part of the Lord's elect, it don't matter what Esau does to you, how much you suffer, you're not going to take that shit. You rather taste of death, basically. But there's certain men that's going to be around you, but when, you know, their faith is just going to buckle, you know. And maybe they're not even around you, maybe they're on their own, whatever, but their faith is not going to be, it's not going to be fully intact, and they're going to buckle underneath the pressure, man. They're going to give in at the last minute, and just end up taking the seat, man. And then that's their fate sealed. But the elect are not going to fall for that, man. You know? And that's why it's good not to have, you know, too much, you know, have you, yeah?
Oh, no, I thought it was attachments.
Yeah, attachments to society and all that, man. Whether it be from family or whatever, your job, not monetarily wise, money, you know. Don't be wholly invested in the society, thinking that that's going to help you or deliver you in these last days, because push comes to shove, you got so much money in your account and they're saying to you, you can only access this money with the C hit, you might be reluctant to take it because you're gonna, you know, you're gonna be, you know, you got all that money that you've been saving and, you know, basically worshipping and all that, man, for a rainy day. Saving for a rainy day. Now you can't touch it because you can't take the chip. So a lot of guys will just, you know, they might just give in that time. Like, nah, man, I got all this wealth here, all this material wealth. Let me just take it, like, you know, and I can eat, not knowing that your fate's going to be sealed for destruction, man, for deletion. You're going to die in the presence of the Lamb and the holy angels, man, getting burnt by fire in the lake of fire, which is America. Facade. These guys are talking about Babylon the Great. It's not in America, or the lake of fire is not going to be in America. Then it said some dumb shit about the chariots. They're delivering Jake that's going to be in the Middle East, and then they're going to dump them in the lake of fire in America. What are you talking about? Where's that in the scriptures? Where the Lord says he's going to deliver Jake from the Middle East and then dump them in the lake of fire in America. If you make it into the chariots, that means you're going to be delivered. That means you're going to receive salvation. Your bodies are going to be changed. And these bodies can't go into the chariot, man, as we are. So why would the Lord beam you up into a chariot, change your body, and then dump you into a fire? That's not really going to kill you anyway, because you're going to be made immortal. You can't die. And once you get those new bodies, you can't taste the death. You're going to be like Yahweh Shai in his final form, you know? You're going to be like a god. Incorruptible. You won't be, nothing can affect you, man. You can go into a damn, like the angels, there's videos of them being in chariots, going into the core of the fucking sun, man. Now how hot the fucking sun is. There's not even, like from this earth, you can feel the sun rays, man, on a hot day. Imagine going into just in the midst of it, and not only just going into the front of it, but actually going into it as well. Now how hot that fucking, there's videos of chariots going into volcanoes, man, into hot lavas and coming out of the volcano as it's erupting. You know what kind of steam and Fahrenheit that type of heat is? To be coming out of a volcano that's erupting and not be affected. Because they're celestial forces, they're not of this realm. They can go to the bottom of the ocean, actually to the actual bottom of the ocean where Leviathan is chilling, and just chill there if they wanted to.
All that pressure is.
Yeah, they could actually just chill there until the Lord tells them to come back up. Even if it's for like the next 100 years. They're going to just chill at the bottom of the sea. They don't need no food, no nothing. They don't need no toilet break. Because they're celestial beings, man. They don't eat food. They don't need no food and nothing like that. They're just pure energy. They don't get sick. They don't get tired. What the hell are you talking about? So why would the Lord beam up a whole bunch of Jakes, change their bodies, and then take them to the lake of fire in America, and then just dump them in the lake of fire? Does that make any fucking sense? Idiots, man. The guys who listen to these clowns and think that they're actually like saying something. But when you check it out, they're actually just talking shit. They're talking out your ass, man. Where's that in the scriptures? Talking about you're going to do some big breakdown on the whole book of Revelation and go into the whole topic of the UFOs. What are you going to say to chariots? So I'm still waiting to see that video. But I don't even want to watch it really because I don't even like to hear the fruitful communication that's coming out these idiots' mouths, man. These low-level spiritual beings' mouths, man. You guys are spiritually low IQ. And it's evident, you're waxing worse and worse, man. Since you took that bag, you know, and started changing up the doctrine, talking about Esau can be saved, you're just waxing worse and worse. And your judgments are going to come swiftly too.
That's right. It says, Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same.
Jacob's trouble is at hand. We're already in Jacob's trouble, and things are going to amplify, just like we're saying in the next month or so, could be a hot summer. Things are going to get escalate, man, get worse and worse, especially with the way things are in society, man. Things are drastically getting worse. They're saying it in the financial news, they're forecasting pure hell, the time of a great recession, another great recession that was worse than the one that previously had in 07, 08. They're saying this is going to be like the greatest depression ever in world history. If things go to plan, which is going to plan, the wicked elite's plan, it's going ahead. But really it's the plan of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because he's the one who's bringing this kingdom down. We're using Esau to do it. You know, you've got Esau in his own snare, and he's going to make him destroy his own empire. With his own weaponry, his own blessing of the sword, he's going to use it to destroy his own empire, man.
That's right. You got something?
Showing you that the Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men.
This is Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 14. The great day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is near. It is near and hasteneth greatly.
Yeah, it's hastening greatly, man. Time is speeding up. We're supposed to be in the spirit of things speeding up. We're supposed to be making haste in terms of the prophecies, man. You know, be more focused on prophecy more than ever before. That's why every other day, or every day actually, a video is coming up about the MOT to the B. And why is that? Because the Spirit has us talking about it. Because it's a major prophecy that's getting ready to come to pass, man. It's a major prophecy, man. Once that prophecy comes to pass, you know, basically it's the end. So that's why that topic keeps coming back up, keeps popping back up, man. Like, it's like nauseum. Like we keep talking about that same topic, day in and day out, day in and day out. Why? Because that's a major prophecy that's getting ready to happen right now as we speak. So we can't not talk about it. The Lord said, give him no rest. Give him no rest, man. So we can't not talk about the major. We ain't going to talk about nothing else. What is there to talk about? Some fucking American hip hop gossip. You know, the latest Drake album or something like that. Like, we ain't concerned with nothing like the worldly events and bullshit like that. We're talking about serious political events and life-changing traumatic events that's gonna change people's lives and bring death upon the earth, judgment. That's what we're about. Prophets of doom, as they call us. Doom is on the rise, man. Doom and gloom is on the loom, you know?
It says, even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness.
Yeah, man, the day of the Lord is going to be a terrible day. Like Apostle Tahar says, it's going to be like a normal day. Sun's out probably, or maybe a cloudy, whatever, but then all of a sudden, everything's just going to turn pitch black. Because the chariots are going to block out the sun, the missiles are going to block out the sun too. But the chariots, when they come, it's going to come the day of the Lord. You know, it's going to be a so-called light day, and then, you know, as it says in Amos, the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. So everything's just going to turn dark. It's going to be looking like a lunar eclipse events is happening or something. You know? That's how dark it's going to get, man. It's going to turn from day to night. Quick. And then all hell's going to be breaking loose. It's going to be fireballs and flames of fire everywhere, destroying shit. People screaming, blood-curdling cries and that. People getting jacked up. Buildings exploding on people and all that. Car explosions, all of these different things, man. Missiles coming, cluster bombs, all that. You know, I see one video where the cluster bombs the other day look crazy. It looked like 100, it looked like fucking bullets. Fireballs of bullets falling from the sky, man. Pelting the earth. Look crazy, man. Look like machine gun bullets, man. Cluster bombs are no joke, man. Just destroying bare buildings and that. Just everything's exploded, turning into dust and sand. You know? So the Lord, imagine our ICBM missiles that they show you in the movie Judgment Day with Sarah Connor and all that. Terminator 2. 1 minute everything's there, next minute everything's just engulfed in flames. Looking like a land of lava, man. The fire just sweeps through the whole land. They show you in the movie The Knowing. You know, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, the fire just sweeps through the whole of the land. Turns everything before it and after it is just destroyed. You know? That's how America's going to be. The whole land's going to be engulfed in flames, man. The Lord said He's going to sweep it with a besom of destruction. Literally going to see a fire sweeping through the whole of North America. Turn the whole land into a desert of destruction, a fiery pit basically. And it's going to turn into a desert after the flame goes down. After many numbers of years, you know. That fire is going to be going up for a longer time. Smoke is going to ascend for a long time, should I say. Yeah.
You had Sodom and Gomorrah, man, that was destroyed with fire.
Yeah, fire and brimstone, yeah.
And you know, America's judgment is going to be, you know, way worse, man. The scriptures tell you how Sodom and Gomorrah was an example.
Yeah, similar type judgment, but more explosive, because the missiles are much more advanced and more destructive, man. You know, the ICBM, they just declared in Russia the Satan 2 and all that, said that it was ready for usage and all that the other day. So once they drop some bombs like the Satan 2 on America, America's through, man. America's done. You know? The effects, man, the aftermath of that as well is just going to be crazy. That's why the earth is going to reel to and fro like a drunken. The impact of all those warheads hitting the earth, the whole earth is going to feel the vibration of those warheads pelting, you know, America. It's going to shake the whole earth, man. Over there in the Middle East too, but mainly America. Really going to like knock the world off its axis kind of thing. That's how bad it's going to be vibrating. The earth's going to actually be shaking like the most volatile tremor you've ever seen or felt in your life. You know? it's like the worst eruption, that you're ever gonna feel in your life, man. Whole earth shaking like that. It's only gonna take 1 hour for the Lord to destroy the whole land, turn that whole land into a desert, man. So yeah, that's it.
But this is Jeremiah 50, verse 22. A sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?
Oh yeah, that's a good topic as well. Now they're changing the America wants to change the whole Operation Epic Fury situation right to Operation Sledgehammer. So that was the perfect precept. I did a sit down on that the other day. How is the whole hammer of the whole earth cut asunder? Because they're calling it Operation Sledgehammer now. So that's America. So that's just another example showing you that America represents the hammer of the whole earth. But that shit, it's going to backfire on them. You're calling it sledgehammer, but that hammer's going to be used to destroy your own empire. Because that situation over there in the Middle East, you put yourself in that situation, you ain't going to get you're going to get the worst parts of it. You ain't going to benefit like you thought you was. Like you thought you did when you went over there February 28th when it all started. You thought it was going to be a quick change of regime, and you ended up being there for months on end, and you're still there now, fighting tooth and nail. And you're still going to be in there until basically the ICBMs drop, man. So all the nations are gathered over there, like talks about in Joel 3 and 9, multitudes are gathered into the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, which means that Yahweh's judgment, the place of Yahweh's judgment, so he can pour upon you his indignation, his righteous anger, with the weapons of his indignation. It talks about that in the same chapter it talks about the Lord's open up the armory, weapons of his indignation. Let's read it. So that sledgehammer is indicative of America, representation of America being the hammer of the whole earth. It's going to be destroyed.
It says,
to read it again, Jeremiah 15:23. Read the next verse as well.
it says, how, Jeremiah 50 and 23, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?
Yeah, they're going to be broken. Yeah, so America's, like we can see it right now, America's being dismantled right now, man. Economically, geopolitically, financially, America's just on the decline. Steady decline, man. They're not going to be able to bounce back. Military-wise, as well. They're going to lose their military over there in the Middle East. They're going to lose the whole war. Go ahead.
How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
Babylon represents America. It's not talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about modern day Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, which is America, Babylon the Great. And why is it going to become a desolation amongst the nations? Because everyone's witnessing America's decline. Everyone's witnessing America's fall. Just like the ancient Roman Empire fell 2,000 years ago, modern day Rome today is America. Everyone's witnessing a Roman American fall of this empire too. People are going to be astonished. Go ahead.
It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware.
You will set a trap for you. That's going into the whole situation. You was brought into that war because of the Israelis. The least of the flock drilled you out. And that was the snare that the Lord set up for you, and you didn't even know. You thought you was going to go into that war and be declared victory and all that, victorious like you always, come out the victors and all that, not knowing that the Lord set you up from the door. Now you're in a trap you can't get out of. Keep digging yourself deeper into that hole. Basically, you're digging your own grave. You can't get out of it now. Iran don't want to peace talk with you, all that ceasefire shit. They really know that that's a ruse for you to keep the war going. Because no matter what you do on the talking stage, or talking wise, negotiation, they know that you want to take over their land and take over their resources. So they're never going to trust you. Plus you killed their Ayatollah and all that, so they're never going to trust you, man. They know that you speak with a forked tongue. So they're just sitting back, biding their time just like you are. Waiting for the next move so they can retaliate. But once Russia and China are getting involved, that's when all bets is off. Go ahead.
It says, "Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. The Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, have opened his armory."
Yeah, what's the Lord's armory? The ICBMs. The blessing that you received from your father Isaac, man, which is your own snare that was going to fall upon you. The Lord's going to make you fall upon your own sword, man. He's going to destroy you with your own blessing, which is the sword, the ICBM missiles, which you use to scaremonger the other nations. But now all the other nations have got that uranium capabilities. They've got nuclear capabilities now. That's why the weak are saying they're strong. You've got China talking shit against you now in regards to the situation with Taiwan. And this guy was sitting there, Trump was sitting there like a good old boy, and he couldn't say nothing. Because China got nuclear capabilities as well now. So they're ready to go to war with you over Taiwan and all that when the time needs. And it will come to that anyway, because they're all going to turn against you, Babylon the Great. They're all going to have their arrows pointed at America to blow your ass to smithereens. Go ahead.
It says, "And have brought," it says, "the Lord have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation."
What's the weapons of his indignation? Esau Bush will call them WMDs, weapons of mass destruction. Also talk about the nuclear missiles, man. The waste that was created to destroy. Isaiah the 54th chapter. Those are the waste that was created to destroy, man. The weapons of the Lord's indignation. WMDs, man. Weapons of mass destruction, man. Go ahead.
"And have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai."
It's the work of the Lord, man. So the Lord made you create those missiles on purpose, man. But at the same time, he made you think made you think that was make you get proud, that to say you're doing something. So the Lord can, harden your heart and destroy you. Just like he did with ancient Pharaoh. Go ahead.
It says, "For this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans, come against her from the uttermost border." Open.
Yeah, the land of the Chaldeans represents where? America, Babylon the Great. Go ahead, so read that again.
Yep, it says, "For this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans, come against her from the uttermost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly, let nothing of her be left."
So America's going to be totally free. There's not be nothing there. So all that investing in land and buying property and thinking there's a future for America, the future's not bright for America, man. That place is going to be turned into a heap of rubble and stubble, man. That's really going to become the forbidden zone of the whole earth. The biggest desert on the whole earth, man. All 5,000 miles of it. That's going to be left as an example of what happens when you come against the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and his people. You get your land turned into a desert, man. Made desolate. Like ancient Sodom and Gomorrah. And other neighboring cities, man. The Lord gonna make a good. That's why he's saving the best destruction for last. The Lord gonna make a clear example of America, man, and how not to mess with it. What happens to the proud? Pride wasn't made for man. And there's no one prouder right now on the earth than these devils, man, these so-called white people. You got the example of that is your guy Trump. He's the most proudest devil on the face of the earth right now, man. So we're gonna humble these Americans like never before. These American Edomites, man. And then their leaders, the 1%, whatever, the cabal that's hiding, in the shadows and all that, they're gonna be the first crops of slaves in the Lord's kingdom. Wherever they're hiding, whether it's in a bunker somewhere or underneath the earth, or water cities, underwater city, or above the earth in their little ships, space stations, no matter where they're hiding on mountainous terrains, the mountains of Carmel, like I told you, the Lord won't dig your asses out by way of the angels and the slavery.
Obadiah, verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, then shall I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh.
Yeah, that's you devils, man. That proud state that you're in, the American bull-headed eagle. That's the hold the height of the hill, so to speak. But the Lord gonna bring you down to the ground. Go ahead.
Yep. That goes on to say, verse 6, how are the things that Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Because everyone can see through the age of the internet, which you created. Um, you created to be a distraction to the people. People can see ultimately that you're just a piece of shit, and and they can see through all of your propaganda, all of those years of Edomite homogeny, and that lying is all coming undone, man. And that's why, like, like even again with the small hats over there, like everyone can see why like they've been detested for the longest, because like every day there's just new crimes that they're doing, just that's being brought out. You even got alternative news now that's coming out other than your BBCs and your Channel 4s, because people have had enough. That's why there's hundreds of thousands of people marching against you right now, Issa Weavers, man. The whole system's coming undone and there ain't shit you can do about it.
Yeah, when the wicked bear fruit, they might as well get it. Spirit. It's the spirit. That's what it is, man. When you got a wicked leader, people are gonna be mourning, man. You know, because they're not getting treated fairly. You know, giving stones for bread and all of that. That's what Esau is doing, basically. He's making shit worse. And really, because these devils have got so much wealth, they could really like heal poverty and all these things, and so-called heal the world. Like Michael and then all them different Hollywood stars and singers were singing "Heal the World" and shit all back then. And Esau ain't changed since them times, man. Esau's still been carrying on dropping bombs and pestilences all over the damn place. It's far worse than that, worse than the earth has ever been right now. So all that heal the world shit, that was all for naught. You had all them different singers, Michael, all them got people coming in to sing the, heal the world and all that. Yeah, and all that shit. And nothing changed, man. It got worse. Because the devil's ruling, man. He don't give a fuck. He said it earlier. He said he don't give a fuck about the US citizens, man. So he don't give a fuck about, if you don't care about the citizens, he damn sure don't care about the earth. You don't care about how much what people, the circumstances they're living in. You don't care about their housing situation, their poverty, poverty-stricken areas. He don't give a shit. His thing is to make his pockets fatter, so he can join the billionaire dollar club, and make his lobbyists pockets fat as well. Keep the rich rich and poor poor. He don't give a shit, man. So if you don't care about the people, you definitely don't care about the earth. This is why we call him the devil, man. He's a fugitive and a vagabond, man. He was cursed from the face of the earth, going back to his forefather Cain. That's why he got cursed with the skin disorder called leprosy, man. Looking like MJ and all that. Vitiligo and all that. That's what the Lord did to this devil back then and during the time of Cain and Abel. The Lord hit him with the vitiligo, man. Turned him leprous as a daughter, leprous as a snowflake, man. He was dark skinned at first, and the Lord took all that pigment away from him, man. And he was the first of his kind. So that's why he looked like a straight up anomaly, man. He was like, look, people see me, they're gonna know there's something wrong with me because I look like an albino, basically. He was the first albino on the face of the earth. Blonde hair, blue-eyed devil. With no pigment in his skin. So he was shitting himself, And then after the flood, he came back as a natural, clean leper, starting with his forefather Esau, the father of the Edomites, man. So that's how. So when he came out of the womb of Rebecca, they said he was red all over like a hairy garment, meaning that he had no pigment in his skin. He was red. You could see the blood showing through his skin, man. He didn't get no coloring. Not like his brother Jacob. When his brother Jacob come out of the womb, because usually when a baby comes out of the womb, they come out lighter, and then their pigment joins onto their skin after a few days or whatever. You can see them change color, and they get their pigment. Like melanin. This is a true source. There's power in that melanin, man. They've got neuromelanin and all that goes into your brain and shit. That's good for that, your cognitive and all these different things, neuromelanin. That's like your power source, man, for your chlorophyll to help you, guide you against UV rays and all that stuff. That's like a part of the superpowers of being a Jake, man. having that melanin, man. There's power in having melanin, man. The Heavenly Father has melanin. His son, his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, who they even call JC, he has melanin. He definitely didn't look like no leprous dog. Because that means he would be walking around with a curse. That's a curse to look like be as one dead. What did Miriam say? What Aaron say about Miriam when the Lord took her pregnant away from her? Because she was running her mouth against Moses. And then he struck her with vitiligo as well. Hit her with leprosy. And Aaron said, don't put this curse upon me to be as one dead. It's a curse, man. Ain't no blessing to look like how the so-called white man looks. That's not a blessing to walk around with leprosy, man. So even with that alone, how are these Edomites going to be saved, man? They're walking, the Lord said that these are the people of my curse forever. So they ain't never going to be able to get rid of that curse of that skin disorder, man. No matter who they mingle themselves amongst, they're always going to have Edomites coming out as they look. Because that's part of your curse as a nation of people. The Lord took your pigment away from you, man. As a message to show you who the evil one of the earth is. So you'll be able to, point them out basically out of the crowd. So yeah, those are the evil people right there, the Edomites, the red people. You're the original criminals of the earth, man. The father of lies, first murderers. Come on, man. This is your nature. This is your nature. This is your identity we're talking about. People talk about the Edomites are done away with. Edomites ain't done away with, man. Why are the people of the earth mourning right now? It's the Moab's not ruling, Ammon's not ruling, Ham's not ruling, and these are all the other nations. They have some form of color and pigment in them, man. When you go back to their original, habitations, they were people that had melanin, not like how some of them look today. The only person that never had melanin and looked like a walking corpse, basically, the walking dead, like a vampire, is the so-called white man. Esau, Edom, man, had the one, the red man. Esau, Joshua, wasted away. What was wasted away? The pigment in his skin. So that's how the hell would the Lord, or the Heavenly Father and his Son look like a bunch of leprous dogs, man? And that's a curse to even look like that, to have that skin disorder. But they're going to be residing in the heaven with leprosy. It don't make no fucking sense. Heavenly Father and his Son are men of color. It's in the scriptures, man. The angels are men of color. That's why the whole topic of the UFO situation is coming back up right now. And they're saying the interdimensional beings in those ships. But Esau knows that the beings that's in those ships are dark-skinned people, man. Dark-skinned angels. Because you've had other videos where guys have come out that was part of that, 1% club. Said that they saw dark-skinned men coming out of the ships, man. Men with color, with afros, tall as hell, strong as hell and all that, mighty. And they're so-called black men, man. So Esau knows who's in them ships, man. He knows ain't no fucking greys or no reptilian people in them ships. That's bullshit, man. That's Hollywood propaganda, man. Anyway.
Yeah, I had that Proverbs.
Yeah.
It says Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
This is what the earth's waiting for. It's the earnest expectation of the creature, waiting for the manifestations of the sons of God. So even though these nations are against us right now, they're waiting for us to get back into power, man. Because they know once we get back into power, a form of balance and order is going to be restored. There's going to be a different vibration on the earth. It's not going to be under this devil's rulership where there's pollution everywhere. You're drinking poisons and eating food with no nutrients in it. You're dropping dead with all these different ailments, chronic illnesses and all that. Waking up with back pains, headaches, all these different things. You're not going to be dealing. Obviously, the other nation's going to have curses on them, so they're going to be dealing with that anyway. But it's going to be a whole different vibration for us. We're going to be living fruitful and in peace. No more cry, no more tears. The Lord says He's gonna wipe away all our tears, man. No more oppression, man, from the oppressor. We're gonna be the ones oppressing, man. And even with that, it's gonna be a different vibration of, you know, oppressing than what Esau was doing. We're gonna show them how it's done, man. And these other nations, they're gonna want us to be back in power because they know that we're righteous people. They're gonna want to learn our ways anyway. It says that in Isaiah 2. Come up and let's go up into the, you know, the house of the Lord and learn from their ways. They're gonna want to come up and learn our ways because they're gonna see this book, the law, statutes, and judgments. This is supposed to be our wisdom in the sight of the nations, man. Show them how to truly live, how to rule, how to, you know, rule in righteousness and balance with the earth, how to not neglect the earth, man. Migration and all that, you know. Land Sabbaths, all these different things. How to actually grow crops properly, get clean food, yield its full strength. Like, we're going to show them how it's done. How to really run an economy, you know, without without polluting the air and the seas and all that. Dumping waste in the rivers and waters that people have to drink out of, man. We're going to show them how we ain't going to be drinking no fluoridated water in the kingdom. The water in the ancient world was sweet. Just put a wooden brook in there, and the water would turn sweet, man. It's like a sweetener.
That's drinking out of plastic.
Yeah, you drink pure spring waters from rock. The best water to drink is spring water anyway, from a rock. And then, you know, you got the cedar wood, whatever wood you're going to put in there to make it sweet. Come on, man, that's like one of them fruity waters that you drink today. Natural sweetness, not no fucking white sugar type shit, man. With these pesticide sweeteners that they put inside of it, man, poisons and shit. Drive up the damn sugar levels and make it blood pressure and all that spike, man. You know, we was drinking. This is in the ancient world. We was drinking clean waters. So how comes we can't drink that now? Because Esau's the devil. He'll drop pollutants in the same water you got to drink out of, man. Same water you got to bath and shit out of. You know, you'll use that and clean that, soap will clean it, and then you got to use that to brush your teeth and wash your body and all that, and drink as well. Talking about clean water from the Thames. Now how dirty the fucking Thames is. Now fucking that Thames, man. That shit. If you touch that water, you probably just drop dead. That water is not fucking clean. That's some of the most poisonous water known to man. And this is supposed to be like a one world, the first world. And you got poisonous waters like that. Let alone Africa and all that. Their water is all kinds of fucked up poison. You can't even drink that water, man. You know? They have to get water brought into their countries. You can't even go near that water. Them rivers and that. But this is the first world. They're supposed to have a clean sort of source of what do they call that system?
Filtration.
Yeah, but there's another word for it. Aqueduct. Yeah, that's it. Supposed to have a clean aqueduct filtering system of the water. And Esau's dumping all kinds of toxins in there at the same time, telling you it's clean water. And you wonder why your teeth are rotting, you know. You get headaches half the time when you drink tap water and shit.
Your bones are.
Yeah, and the water stinks as well. Sometimes you open the tap, you can smell the sewage in the fucking water, man. Guy see video, YouTube guy put a flame to the fucking water, shit started sparking because of all the toxins and chemicals in it, man. Water's not supposed to send sparks, man.
That's crazy.
It's supposed to be a clean resource, a resource from the earth. It's not supposed to set flames and shit on fire and shit.
Even some of that bottled water and stuff, you know, like sometimes you try and make, you know, better decisions, like, let me get the clean bottled water. And even that shit's polluted. They do the tests with that, the filtered tests and stuff. Which one's better, which one's not as bad with all these chemicals, but they're all fucked, man.
Yeah, all fucked. We drink the worst of we basically drink the best of the worst. Try and get the decent pH bottles and all that, but really, what can we do? We don't manufacture them bottles, man. Esau makes all these fucking waters and he takes all the, you know, puts them all in these estrogen plastic bottles. So all that plastic seeps into the water as well. So you're drinking nothing but microplastics and shit. you wonder why your health's at risk. You know, and on top of that, the food's fucked up. The air you're breathing's fucking poison. It's fucked, man. We're living in like, you know, basically a toxic waste, polluted land, man. Constantly been poisoned, and even right now you can smell the air, and it's not clean. Like, it's just, you can smell chemicals and all kinds of shit. It's not healthy, basically. This is not healthy living, man. This is why we need the law. We need to go back to the motherland, which is the Middle East, land of Israel, land flowing with milk and honey. We're gonna live free and, you know, poison free and all of that, man. Don't have to deal with none of this shit no more. The nations ain't gonna have to deal with it too. That's why they're crying right now. You got all these protests out there. People are fed up. Because all these politicians, all they do is lie and sell dreams. They sell you a dream, telling you things are gonna change, and nothing ever changes. Then the next guy will come in and sell you another dream, doing the same shit, and you people keep falling for the same bullshit tricks every 4 fucking years, man. Now it's just getting to the point where people don't even want to wait 4 years, man. They're just getting fed up. They just want to get people out immediately now. As soon as you do one fuck up, it looks like get them out of there. It's pointless, man. These politicians are playing with people's lives. It's only now people are starting to come to realize, but we've been saying this for the longest. That's why we don't vote. We don't vote for no fucking president and no prime ministers, man. For what? They're all controlled opposition anyway. They're patsies for the New World Order, man. That's why your guy Starmer said it last year, everyone has to get a digital ID. He ain't saying nothing new. This is what they all wanted in the first place, man. He's doing what he's been told to say. Trump's going to say the same thing. Sooner rather than later, Trump's going to say everyone get a digital ID. Same thing that King Charles just said last week. Why? Because they're all reading from the same script. They're all puppets for the wicked elite, man. We've been saying this shit for years.
A bit more, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
Yeah. When the righteous bear through, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear through, the people mourn. You just go on YouTube right now, you type in protests in London, you're going to see hundreds of thousands of people over there in central London holding their flags, going crazy, man, fighting the police, you know, and they got different protests at the same time in the same area. All hell could just break loose. If someone could just, you know, drop a little something in the air, and then people get affected by it, spread the pathogen that way, you know, or there could be, you know, agent provocateurs, definitely gonna have some agent provocateurs in there, crisis actors, start setting off some shit, you know, order ab chaos, as they call it, started, you know, bringing disorder, you know. We're in some lawless times, man. This is why we need Yahweh Shai. We need Yahweh Shai. That's why you got to call upon those names, man. You don't call upon the names of Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, and you're part of the Lord's elect. You ain't going to be safe, man. The Lord's not going to deliver you in these last days. So don't listen to the Deacon Akar and Deacon Facade and Assad, you know, Deacon Facade and Demon Akar and IUIC talk about we ain't got the name. Don't listen to them cats, man. They're a bunch of they're a bunch of hirelings, man. Charlatans. They talk the bag. Don't listen to them guys, man. We got the names. We got the names. We know the names through the spirit of faith, and you know, through faith basically we have those names. And the names are the Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, and the only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who they even call Jesus, man. His name's not Jesus the Christ, his name's Yahweh Shai, the Mashiach, if you want to get technical. Anyway, we always got some precepts.
I got some. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, start from verse 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people.
Yeah, King Trump's an unwise king. He's one of them perverse leaders, man. He also mix a perverse spirit, caused Egypt to earn all their leadership. He's one of them unrighteous kings. Go ahead.
But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power, verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
Yeah, the natural successors of this earth, the natural rulers, it tells you in 2 Ezra 8:1, this world was made for many, but the world to come is made for few. We're the natural rulers of this earth. Israel was made to rule this earth in righteousness, starting with Yahweh Shai. That's basically what Yahweh Shai is coming to do, but as part of his blessing, because he's ruler over the earth and under the heavens of the earth. He got given that blessing from the Father, Yahweh. So this is his earth right now. Well, it's been his earth from the beginning. From when he was at the time of Adam. He was the first Adam and the last Adam. So he's coming to reclaim the rest of his throne, man. And his people, us being joint heirs, you know, we suffer with him, we shall reign with him. We're going to have the blessing and honor to sit along with the Lord in his kingdom, ruling as kings and judges on the earth, to restore balance and restore righteousness, man. You know? That's what the Lord's going to give for us as a reward. So he's not just going to be here on his own. The Lord actually wants to share his kingdom with his people, man. The Lord's not selfish like that. You know, you've got certain jakes out there, they just want it all for themselves. You know, they don't want to share the wealth, so to speak. They just want to be the top guy and be looking down upon their own people, seeing everyone else beneath them suffering. But they want to be the one on top, so to speak. That's some gangster, you know, some gangsterism, hip-hop gangster type philosophy, man. You're supposed to share the wealth amongst your people. If you're thriving, you're supposed to want to thrive with your people, man. And that's how Yahweh Shai is. I'm not saying he has to, but he's given us that chance, man, to share his kingdom with his people, starting with the elect, the first fruits. So that's an honor in itself, man. We're going to actually put gold crowns on each brother's heads that stood stiffly for the name and fought continually into the end. Whether you die in the truth or you make it into the chariot first go round, those men are going to receive golden crowns on their heads, man, from Yahweh Shai's hand himself. And then they're going to be made immortal kings for the rest of time, man. Meaning they're never going to taste of death. No sickness, none of that. Be superhuman. God's walking amongst men. Like Yahweh Shai is a God. Lowercase g. But the Heavenly Father, he's the almighty power. The Heavenly Father, man. There's no higher than the Most High, Yahweh. Yahweh Shai is second in command. You know? So he's going to get the rest of his blessing because the word was with the Most High from the beginning. Everything was made by him and for him. So he's going to come and inherit the rest of his blessing, man. That he put himself, when he went on the cross and died for the nation of these people, the nation of Israel. And these people only, by the way, not no damn Edomites and not no other nations. The Lord only died for the nation of Israel. And not even just for Israel, he died for the elect of Israel, you know, which incorporates the whole nation anyway. If they're going to bring back the 2/3. So someone said they had something?
This is John 10:10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly.
Yeah, when the Lord comes, we're going to have abundance, man. We're going to be reigning and living in abundance, reigning in peace. No one shall make us afraid, man. You know?
Isaiah 45 and 17 says Israel shall be a kingdom without end, an age without end, eternity, man.
Immortality. The Lord said we're going to take the kingdom too, possess it forever and ever. So that's our ultimate goal, man. But we have to have patience. Because certain guys, they lack patience, man. That's one of the things, the reason why a lot of guys are falling out of this truth or getting disenchanted. They lack patience, man. Because the word patience means you have to suffer. Certain guys just don't want to suffer. They get tired of suffering, so they just give up and sell out. Or they walk away from this truth. But that just means you're not part of the Lord's elect. Because no matter what, the elect are going to suffer until Shiloh returns. He's the one who's going to relieve us of the sufferings, man. When he comes with the chariots, man. So we're gonna endure to the end. That's what it means to endure to the end. You gotta keep fighting, man, until the Lord cracks them clouds. Don't sell out. Don't take a bag. And don't start mixing up and remixing the scriptures, because you're losing faith, man. You know. It's best for you, if you don't believe in this truth, you just walk away. And start trying to remix the scriptures and teach lies and, you know, act like you know it all of a sudden. You know, the Lord said, no, know what thou hast learned, who thou hast learned it from, and keep it moving, man. You know, you got them, these wayward teachers out here, man, but the Lord's gonna get rid of them. And that guy Yaki, I call him Yakub, the scientist, Yakub. His head's, he wears that big stupid scarf thing on his head. It looks like the same shape as Yakub, the big-headed scientist, man. Which is another man-made philosophy. He calls himself Yaki. You're out of your mind, man. You're a false teacher as well, man. You ain't got the truth. There's a lot of these guys out here, man, but at the end of the day, it's part and parcel of being in this truth. Not everyone's going to be a true prophet of the Lord. You're going to have the opposition too. It's got to be mindful of that. Warn our people of these guys. Can't be ignorant to that fact. So, you know, last piece of we're probably going to close out. You got something?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Turbulent times, things, crises, man. Look for these poly-crises, more events happening simultaneously. You know, that's all going to lead to what? Economic collapse and the great reset button being pressed, man. That big red button by the wicked elite. Go ahead.
Isaiah 30:1, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that add cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not answered my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt, selling themselves onto this place, believing that this place is going to be their salvation, rather than trusting Yahweh Shai. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
Yeah, and that's what that whole great reset is all about. A lot of people are going to trust this devil, thinking that's going to be to their benefit. Really, it's going to lead to the destruction. So all these people that believe in the great reset are going to take that chip. Once you take that chip, that's a transgression you can't repent from, basically. That's a sin you can't repent from. You know, it's a sin to take it, but the mark of the beast is not sin itself. It's an actual device they're going to put underneath your skin. You got to know the difference, man. So anyway, with that, we're going to close out. Give all praises and glories to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect. Shalom, man.
Shalom.